lasers, fat freezing methods, even those new pills, but without getting the results you were hoping for. Introducing ProSculpt, the new one-day instant permanent fat removal and skin tightening treatment. ProSculpt is minimally invasive, performed while you're fully awake, and it's gentle yet powerful. Designed to target the waistline, chin, neck, arms, and thighs, ProSculpt uses FDA-cleared plasma technology to deliver immediate and permanent fat-reducing and skin-tightening results, all in just one visit. Go to ProSculpt.com today to schedule your free consultation, and for a limited time, get $250 off. Feel confident this summer with instant, permanent fat reduction and skin tightening that works for women and men too. ProSculpt.com.
We live in one of the most beautiful places on Earth, and owning your own deck is a great way to enjoy it. But finding the right decking solution can be overwhelming. That's why all 9 of our Puget Sound locations offer decking showrooms so you can get your hands and toes on the more than 60 decking options we carry. So if you have any questions about building, maintaining, or repairing your deck, contact me personally. Mike Dunn at DunnLumber.com.
Trex decking products on sale now through May 31st at Dunn Lumber.
People matter isn't just a saying at Harnish Auto Family. It's how they do business. For over 40 years, they've built a stellar reputation on trust, respect, and great deals. Visit HarnishAutoFamily.com to find your next car. Harnish Auto Family. People matter.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio, KIRO FM, and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle, Northwest News. This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Steve Kathan. The bid by President Trump to end birthright citizenship is before the Supreme Court.
This order reflects the original meaning of the 14th Amendment, which guaranteed citizenship to the children of former slaves, not to illegal aliens or temporary visitors.
Solicitor General John Sauer, Justice Elena Kagan.
If I were in your shoes, there's no way I'd approach the Supreme Court with this case. So you just keep on losing in the lower courts. And what's supposed to happen to prevent that?
The Trump order was blocked by 3 federal judges. The larger issue is a test over the power of federal courts to take individual action on a matter that has nationwide impact. Now to Milwaukee, CBS's Scott McFarland reports there was a not guilty plea today from Hannah Dugan, the judge who's accused of helping a man evade federal immigration agents.
A simple plea, little more today. But in a filing yesterday, she made more of an argument that there is a form of judicial immunity for what happens in her courtroom that is outside the jurisdiction of the executive branch. She says that only protects her during this case. She's arguing this should protect her from having the case at all, that it should be dismissed.
Cross-examination today for Cassie Ventura, the ex-girlfriend of Sean Combs, at his sex trafficking trial. CBS's Katrina Kaufman.
The singer spent over a decade in a relationship with Sean Combs, which during the prosecution's direct examination was portrayed to be one of violence, of abuse, both physical and psychological, and one where they were involved in a complicated scheme of sex trafficking. All the prosecution says at the direction of Sean Combs.
The government says retail sales increased slightly last month. Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell this morning assessed tariff policy.
We may be entering a period of more frequent and potentially more persistent supply shocks, a difficult challenge for the economy and for central banks.
I'm Jim Crisula. If you shop at Walmart, you will soon be paying more. The nation's biggest retailer says it will be raising prices because of President Trump's tariffs. Much of what Walmart sells is made in China.
CBS's Nicole Killian is on Capitol Hill, where Republicans are still tweaking a budget bill.
As far as the speaker, his main goal is to get this over the finish line before the Memorial Day recess, so he's trying to stay steadily focused on that. Obviously, now that work has completed within pretty much most of the House committees, it wasn't just the 3 this week, but others earlier this month that had been marking up the bill as well.
Wall Street, a turnaround. The Dow is now up 131 points. The S&P is up 12. NASDAQ is down 25 points. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Another local bank robbed and the suspect is still out there. More on that, but first from the Beacon Plumbing Traffic Desk, 2 separate crashes on Aurora Avenue 99 in Seattle, causing backups in both directions. Slow going also on I-5 North from Boeing Field to downtown Seattle. And we're seeing red on 405 North from 167 to the Kennydale area north of Renton. Travel times: Federal Way to Seattle, 58 minutes. Everett to Seattle, 50 minutes. Everett to Bellevue, 54 minutes. Traffic brought to you by Wilcox Family Farm Eggs. Fresh food comes from local farms. For healthier eggs with 3 times the omega-3s, choose Wilcox Omega-3 eggs at Costco. Locally fresh since 1909.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Derek Wing. A serial robber strikes again. Seattle police and the FBI say the woman robbed the U.S. Bank on McGraw Street in Magnolia Monday. KIRO TV's Samantha Lomibo reports that the suspect is believed to have robbed at least 7 banks since last June.
Video of the suspect showing her at a Home Street bank in Madison Park on March 18th, wearing sunglasses and a beanie. Before that, police say she robbed banks in January, November, October, September, and June throughout the city. Each time, she's got a different look. But people I spoke with say those disguises won't last long.
Sooner or later, she will get caught.
The FBI says she's stolen a total of about 7,500 so far.
More than 1,000 Starbucks baristas at 75 U.S. stores have gone on strike since Sunday to protest a new company dress code. Here's KIRO News Radio's Frank Lenzi.
Starbucks has put new limits on what its baristas can wear under their green aprons. The dress code requires employees at company-operated and licensed stores in the U.S. and Canada to wear a solid black shirt and khaki black or blue denim bottoms. Before, they could wear a broader range of dark colors and patterned shirts. Starbucks says the new rules would make it easier for their green aprons to stand out and create a sense of familiarity for their customers. But Starbucks Workers United says the dress code should be subject to collective bargaining, and it's filed a complaint with the National Labor Relations Board. Frank Lenzi, KIRO News Radio.
The Pierce County Library System was hit by hackers. The library catalog was down recently for more than a week. The library confirms some data was taken. Details of the accessed information are still under investigation, and the library spokesperson tells the News Tribune people whose personal information was impacted will be notified. No word when things will be back up and running. Skagit County getting ready for wildfire season. A modified burn ban goes into effect June 15th in unincorporated areas. The county says it's due to the current and forecasted weather conditions this summer. This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Partly cloudy with showers this afternoon, a high of 56. It's currently 51 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Derek Wing.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show with G. Scott and Ursula Reutin.
Hey, good morning, Ursula. It's the Gee and Ursula Show. Y'all know what it is.
Yes.
It's happy. This dude Sheppy trying to do me so cold and dirty. Happy Thursday, May 15th. Welcome into the Gee and Ursula Show. Ursula,
is he still calling it Tuesday?
Yeah, he be tripping. But he does that on copy too, on purpose as well. Let me ask you something, Ursula.
What's that?
So this morning, I was driving to the gym at 5 this morning, and Seattle's Morning News plays a version of me coming in and talking to them.
Yes.
And I was listening to myself.
And I said, Self?
I cannot handle this. And I turned the channel. I couldn't listen to it. It was too early in the morning.
Are you serious?
Ursula.
You turned yourself on.
I turned myself off. You threw me off there, Ursula. I turned myself off.
I threw myself off, too.
So my question is, do it be like that sometime? Where I'm so hyper? Like, I just couldn't listen to me at 5 in the morning. So if you're listening right now, do I do that to you? Because I had to turn myself off. I was way too hyper listening to myself.
Oh, no. You're starting the show with this text line.
You really want to know?
973-5476 888-973 KIRO. Yeah, we are family. And You know what? The people who like to complain that you're too much, G, are also the people who turn in specifically to hear you. So that's my take on that one.
But
I know. But sometimes I hear myself and I'm like, I got to turn myself off too. I think that's just a natural reaction.
All right.
Even 30 plus years later, sometimes like, no, Okay, hey, we've got a super packed show for all of you. But as always, this show is nothing if you are not part of it. So weigh in on all of our segments on our text line, 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO. And good morning to all of you on YouTube right now.
Okay. Ursula's top stories of the day. By the way, I'm gonna be mild-tempered today. Ursula's top stories of the day brought to you by Bath Fitter Northwest.
For the second time in 2 months, Valley Medical Center in South King County is making some drastic cuts. The hospital is going to shut down 2 inpatient units and 5 clinics in Renton and Kent by the end of June, which is going to impact more than 2,000 jobs. In a statement, Valley says state and federal budget cuts are forcing these closures and layoffs. Washington Hospital Association CEO Cassie Sowers tells KIRO 7 TV, you know what? This is just the beginning. Once the budget passed by the legislature kicks in, she says hospitals are going to see $200 million in cuts and new taxes each year.
We've already seen loss of labor and delivery in rural communities. We've seen closures of outpatient physical therapy, occupational therapy, now closures of whole clinics like the ones that Valley is closing. There's going to be more.
Now, Valley serves a large number of low-income patients and people of color, many of whom rely on Apple Health. And what you might not know is a state-approved Medicaid reimbursement program that hospitals relied on for those patients was stopped abruptly at the end of last year. So Sauer says if that money gets approved soon, it could take some pressure off hospitals like Valley Medical Center that are being forced to make these cuts. So far this year, the hospital has an operating loss of about $25 million. Last year, it reported a nearly $43 million loss.
So let me get this straight, Ursula. Valley Medical Center right now is cutting clinics while, remember this, while Congress right now wants to slash Medicaid. Now, if you guys think about it, this is all a setup for something that Ursula brought up yesterday. And we brought up something yesterday and we talked about how some use the ER for primary care, their primary doctor and all those things. So this is the reason why when you show up to the ER, it's so crowded. It's so over there. So now it's potentially going to get even more crowded.
Correct.
Congress right now is nearly looking at an $880 billion in Medicaid cuts. As you all know, the Congresswoman, Kim Schreier right now, she has been warning that these don't just hurt the hospitals, but it hurts the patients. It hurts us. It hurts some of you scrambling for care. So when you bring this news up and you hear about Valley Medical closing down clinics, this will have a ripple effect on all of us.
Yes. And the area still has some other hospitals where people can go. But again, like you said, I mean, it's just going to make them that much more crowded, put even that much more pressure on employees who we were talking about, the employees up in Bellingham, the hospital workers up in Bellingham who are saying, you know, not only are we not paid enough, but we are overworked, we are burned out. And, you know, some of them are living in their cars and that kind of thing because they can't even afford their own health insurance. And I know that there's going to be a segment of the population that is going to blame, and in their words, they'll say it's the illegals. Okay, so they're going to say that undocumented immigrants is what is causing the high cost of medical care in the United States. Now, there may be some additional pressure because of uninsured people. It's not just the people who are here in the country illegally. We're talking about what has happened with the homeless population right now. I mean, if you want to see where a lot of homeless people are, that's where they're getting their care. And again, I go back to my question yesterday, which is, should healthcare be a human right? I mean, all of us landed on the same page, but one of the things that we talk about is we don't have universal health care. Yeah. And is this something that would help with what we're seeing right now, because the hospitals are saying, yeah, we're not getting the Medicaid and Medicare reimbursements. The state has now added additional taxes and cuts that we haven't even seen yet. So it is going to be just that much worse. And that is worrisome, extremely worrisome, especially if you have been to a hospital in recent days.
Yeah.
It is not just clinics, though, that are closing down. We are going to be losing 8 Rite Aid and Bartell drugstores. As we reported last week, the closure of more than 100 stores across the country has been now approved in bankruptcy court. The stores closest to Seattle that are on the chopping block include a Bartell's in Snoqualmie, another one in North Bend. The rest are Rite Aids, including one in Kingston and another in Granite Falls. Rite Aid and Bartell's is also going to be closing its distribution center in Des Moines, and that means layoffs for more than 130 employees.
I'm quite sure when some of you hear the news that Ursula just talked about, or maybe you've read about this already, you're probably thinking, okay, is my prescription where my local pharmacy, is it safe? Is it good? Are you looking to move it? Ursula, is very unfortunate. But hopefully Bartell's and all these others can continue to navigate. But you know what's going to happen. In the meantime, in between time, we will see the stores that are open, but we will start to see bare shelves. Have you gone into these stores?
Yes.
And have you seen the bare shelves and everything like that? Right now, it's like it's almost like preparing for an awkward game of guess what's missing, into which you answer everything when you go into these stores.
And I feel for the employees. I really do, because a lot of times folks take it out on them, like, how come there's nothing on your shelves? I mean, I hear it all the time when I go to my neighborhood Bartell's, Rite Aid, and same, but the pharmacies are the ones that are always still very busy. I mean, believe it or not, I know that you go through mail-in stuff, and a lot of people have just done it online now. But as we discussed, there's some prescriptions that you can't do online, and there are still so many people. I mean, I have not been to my local Rite Aid pharmacy when there's not been a line.
I just want to say, some of them, yes, that's true, but some of mine, for the most part, if there's like a serious prescription that I need, I go right to I go to the local.
Yeah,
because I like that touch. Hey, you need to do this, that type of thing.
So my question is, like, right now, I still have it at the Rite Aid, and I'm wondering if I should just already move it, knowing what's going to come.
You do realize, Ursula, what I've been trying to say this whole time, and I know you and others might get upset when I say this. In 5 years, this won't be in your top stories. In 5 years.
Well, they'll be shut.
Huh?
They'll be shut down.
Exactly.
Yeah.
In 5 years, most people will be getting their prescriptions in a different way than they do right now. It's going that way.
I don't disagree. Well, if you've been to downtown Seattle recently, you have likely seen those city ambassadors with their neon yellow and blue outfits. I love them.
Mm-hmm.
You can see them cleaning up the sidewalks or helping folks who have questions or problems. Well, now we're finding out that the Chinatown International District is going to be getting their own ambassadors thanks to $1 million investment, which half the money comes from city taxpayer funds, the other half from donations. And starting in June, the CID is going to have 3 of those ambassadors who will be patrolling daily from 2 to 10 p.m. And this resident tells KIRO 7 TV the neighborhood has been plagued with violent crime and drug dealing, and he's glad they're finally going to get some help.
Not long ago, somebody asked me for money. I gave him money. As soon as he got my money, he hit me. I don't feel safe to go to the Jackson to take the bus.
And you might recall last November, 10 people were stabbed in the Chinatown International District in less than 48 hours. And crime had gotten so bad, King County Metro briefly shut down its 12th and Jackson bus stop because of all those public safety concerns.
Yeah, I was trying to think. I told you all I was right over there at 12th and Jackson, and I couldn't remember why I was there. Oh, yeah, it was Mother's Day weekend, and Lily and I were taking her son home, and he kind of lives close to there over in the Central District. And first, let me just tell you all, it's bad, y'all. It's really bad. Like, here's what stood out to me. What stood out to me is this is different than you would see 3rd and Pike and all. This is like, it is like every business has someone in front of it. Like, there's no way that myself, I'm not stopping at any of those businesses. That's just me. I can only imagine others. But anyways, I know that local business owners are going to be super ecstatic about this. They are going to love having this. And I got a tip of the cap for the mayor of Seattle to be and say, hey, we're investing $1 million. We're going to have someone. I think the hours are from 2 to 10 p.m.
Mm-hmm. There are going to be 3 of them, which is not a whole lot.
Yeah. So I love it. I love it.
I love it too, and I hope it expands. And one of the things is that half the money came from donations, so they don't have a sustainable model at the moment. But I feel for the CID. I really do. They've been yelling and screaming for help. They've been begging for help. And I think all the cleanup that has happened downtown, I think a lot of the folks just moved, a lot of the problems moved to the International District because downtown looks dramatically better and the International District looks dramatically worse.
Yeah. This is going to help.
Yes. So
this is going to help.
And I hope that they get even more help because they deserve it. You might have seen her face plastered all over TV news programs this morning. Seattle police and the FBI are searching for a serial bank robber. The suspect is an Asian woman who looks to be in her early 20s. She's been targeting banks across the city using disguises and a note demanding the cash. The latest bank was in Magnolia, where KIRO 7 TV spoke to some worried neighbors.
Sooner or later, she will get caught. So it's just a matter of time.
So this bank robber has struck at least 7 times since June of last year, and police say she has stolen around $7,500 so far.
What is she doing? And by the way, I don't think this is going to be easy to catch this person. That's number one. I really don't. I told Lillian, be careful going to work today. I don't want nobody to pull her over and think that she was out here, because Lillian fits the description of the lady.
Okay.
No. You go explain. Say the description. Say the description.
A young woman in her 20s, Asian woman.
Okay. Lillian looks good.
Yeah, she does.
And how tall is she? How tall is she?
Okay.
I'm just saying.
This is not going into the direction of all Asians look alike. No, there was a very distinctive.
No, I'm not going with that. What I am saying is this person said this person will get caught. I don't think it's going to be that easy. This person is really doing it in broad daylight. She's letting out a note.
I actually think it is going to be easy because they've got some photos of. They have some really good photos now, and now it's getting the publicity. I think that there's going to be someone who recognizes her.
Okay. I tell you what. I know I'm not supposed to do this, but this is what we're going to do.
Okay.
I'm telling you, it's not going to be easy to find this person. The date right now is May 15th, even though Chef tried to set me up. May 15th, right now. I bet you she isn't caught before the end of the summer.
Okay. Well, the only reason I would agree with that is maybe because of a lack of police resources, but I think the publicity is going to help, and I think there are some pictures where you can see a lot of her face. The other thing I was going to point out, though, is $7,500 in all those robberies, and I know that you had mentioned that doesn't seem like a whole lot when you're talking about a robbery.
Oh, it's dumb. And what I mean by dumb is you just robbed a bank 7 times for $7,500. I'm not the best with math, but that's just under about $1,000 every single time, right? Or a little over 7,000, a little over 7,000. So my point is you get an automatic 10 years in prison for a bank robbery, for one bank. She's robbed 7. That's 7 banks. Lady, you're going to be in jail for a long time for $7,500. So it lets me know, whoever this Asian lady is, I think this person might have a drug problem. I don't think this is a gambling problem. I think this is a drug problem. 7 banks for $7,500. That means you keep going again and again and again for a little bit of money. And now when you do get caught, and eventually you will get caught, just not on Ursula's timeline, you will get caught. And when you get caught, you got to go to prison for 20 plus years for less than $10,000. You got to be the dumbest person in the world.
Usually bank robbers are not very smart. Oh! Well, I know that they say they're smart. They're
smart bank robbers.
Yeah, the idea that you think you're going to get away with it. In my mind, that's not very smart.
Okay. We got a lot to talk about. Coming up at 9:47, the Seahawks schedule is out. I have a problem with one game that I want to tell you about. But up next, yes, we have to talk about it because new Washington data shows where the health cuts in this state would really hurt. We do that next. Gee Ursula.
Winners of 3 2025 Regional Edward R. Murrow Awards, including Overall Excellence, Feature Reporting, and Sports Reporting.
Sneakers squeak across the Storm's new practice facility. In Seattle, Heather Bosch, KIRO News Radio.
We thank you. We are the Northwest leading news station because of you.
Inspiring us every day to deliver the local news and stories you care about.
On KIRO News Radio, YouTube, the app, and 97.3 FM.
Hi, it's John Curley. Longevity Medical Clinic is your best plan for long-term well-being and personalized health care. Dr. Mixon, let me ask you a question. How long have some of your patients been working with you?
And we've got patients now that have been with us for over 20 years that are in their 90s, who came to us in their 60s. The grandparents now in their 90s are living independently. They're not on walkers, they're not on canes, they're not headed for nursing homes.
I meet people and they ask about, wow, you're in great shape, you have 12% body fat and stuff. What's the secret? I said, it's not a secret. Longevity Medical Clinic has been there for 25 years. There is no secret to the fact that if you make those small changes, you avoid the big, bad, horrible stuff that most of us just think, well, this is what's supposed to happen to me.
And if you're heading downhill and you don't change your direction, you're going to continue going downhill. And what we do at Longevity is we redirect you and we take you back up the hill.
So get your free health analysis. Go to longevitymedicalclinic.com. That's longevitymedicalclinic.com.
It's a new year, but many seniors are struggling with the same old problem: high prices and rising property taxes. We're here with our friend Steve Teitler of Best Mortgage, and he says a reverse mortgage may be the answer.
Many seniors cannot afford to stay in the home they love. A reverse mortgage gives them access to equity in their home without having to sell. They can pay off their mortgage if they have one and maybe pull some extra cash out of their home. And best of all, they have no mortgage payment the rest of their life.
But as you always say, a reverse mortgage is not for everyone.
That's right. Avoid the high-pressure sales pitch from those out-of-state call centers. I give you a consultation, not a sales pitch. I'll tell you if a reverse mortgage is right for you, and I always tell you if it's not.
Honest advice you can trust from the reverse mortgage experts. Best Mortgage, the VA loan experts and debt consolidation specialists too. 425-649-6000. Best Mortgage, 425-649-6000.
Workdays can be unpredictable, but your workwear shouldn't be. With a Cintas Apparel Plus program, you'll have freshly laundered garments for everyone on your team delivered every week. Cintas has workwear for just about any job imaginable, with high-performance fabrics and an uncompromising fit that stretches and moves with you. Don't leave looking and feeling good to chance. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
You ever try fixing your car and realize you're missing that one part? Yeah, been there. That's why eBay's my go-to. They've got millions of parts, guaranteed to fit. I'm talking brake pads for when yours have seen one too many miles of stop and go. Oil filters, because you don't mess around with your engine care. Even got this cold air intake on my watch list. I might just go for it. To keep the ride cool and your DIY streak hot. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. eBay. Things. People. Love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Bonneville International radio station contests are open to participants 18 years of age or older that are residents of Washington State unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contest are not eligible to win unless the station otherwise specifies at its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 60 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. Full general contest rules are available on mynorthwest.com or in person at the station during regular business hours.
At Kia of Everett, leasing your new Kia is simple, easy, and fun. Now through May 31st, lease a 2025 Kia Seltos LX all-wheel drive for just $229 a month for 24 months with $34.99 due at signing.
Lease payment on approved credit with Kia Finance America, plus tax after 2050 Kia Finance America 24-month lease cash and Kia of Everett discount of $1,552. Quote payment is before monthly sales tax and fees. Not valid with other offers. Select vehicles only, subject to prior sales. See dealer for full details.
The best drive you'll ever take is to Kia of Everett. Simple, easy, fun.
Get 0% financing for 72 months on Cat compact construction equipment at NC Machinery. Built for performance, durability, and comfort. Buy now and take advantage of 0% financing for 72 months at NC Machinery.
Hey there, Dawn Riling with Olympic Hot Tub. Unleash your best self with an endless pool, the absolute best swim spa you can own. Play, swim, and stay fit in your backyard all year long. Now till May 15th, unleash savings of up to $8,800 on an endless pool swim spa package. Visit today and we'll get you swimming. Details at olympichottub.com. Better you, better life.
Olympic Hot Tub.
Millions of Americans take medicine like Ozempic and Zepbound. Many of them are overpaying by thousands of dollars a year. These GLP-1 medications for diabetes, weight loss, and more may not always be covered by your insurance, but GoodRx can help. GoodRx helps you save every month on prescriptions at over 70,000 pharmacies nationwide. Best of all, it's free to use. Check GoodRx to save on GLP-1s. Just go to goodrx.com/GLP. That's goodrx.com/GLP. GoodRx is not insurance, but can be used instead of insurance, including Medicare and other federal and state-funded programs.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
Here in the Pacific Northwest, windows can be one of the best investments you can make to add value to your home. At Dunn Lumber, we have designated Milgard window specialists who've been trained by Milgard to best serve your needs. If you need help finding the right windows for your home, come by one of our 4 Dunn Lumber window showrooms. Or reach out to me personally, Mike Dunn at DunnLumber.com.
Dunn Lumber, building success together.
KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Derek Wing. 2 officer-involved shootings are under investigation right now in Kitsap County. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey has more, including audio from newly released body cam video from a shooting in Paulsbo.
Hey, he's exiting. Put your hands up now! Hey, he's got a knife. Back up. Hey, watch out. I'm going to pepper ball.
Moments after Paulsbo officers fired pepper balls at 41-year-old Justin Mogling, then tasered him twice back on May 7th. Body cam video shows the suspect appearing to lunge at officers while holding a knife. Investigators say Mogling died from gunshot wounds. In Bremerton, late Wednesday night, a Kitsap spokesperson says 5 deputies and 2 state troopers confronted a prowling suspect in a Fred Meyer's parking lot off Highway 303. That suspect is in stable condition. No word yet whether deputies or troopers fired those shots. Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
Seattle City Council has unanimously approved an expansion of its existing traffic safety camera program. The 8-0 vote will allow more automated cameras to be installed in areas where police say there is speeding and dangerous driving. Dr. Justin Irish is the North Shore School District's new superintendent.
Dr. Justin Irish showed that he would involve the community, he would involve the administration and the board, and he would take into account all the different aspects that make North Shore what it is.
He got the position after a series of public meetings, a community survey, focus groups, and a community town hall. Dr. Irish says he's excited and honored if contract negotiations go as planned. His first day will be July 1st. Rite Aid is planning to close some local stores after filing for bankruptcy. That includes local chain Bartell Drugs, which the Rite Aid company owns. According to a May 9th filing, Rite Aid stores will close in Kingston, Yelm, Granite Falls, Omak, Snoqualmie, and Anacortes. As for Bartell's, stores will close in North Bend and Ephrata. On Wall Street, the Dow is up 121 points, S&P 500 up 13, the Nasdaq down 15. From the Beacon Plumbing Traffic Desk, 2 different crashes in the Fremont area of Seattle are slowing down both directions of 99. Also, we're seeing traffic on I-5 North from Boeing Field to downtown Seattle and 405 North from 167 to the Canyondale area just north of Renton. Things are slow there, too. Travel times, Federal Way to Seattle, 49 minutes. Everett to Seattle, 45 minutes. This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Partly cloudy with showers this afternoon, a high of 56. It's 52 in downtown Seattle right now. I'm Derek Wing, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Welcome back to the Gee and Ursula Show. 2 for 2 for me when it comes to sweeping statements. I made one yesterday, got a bunch of people hacked off. Made another one today, said bank robbers are generally not very smart. And Chris Sullivan came running in here, said, Ursula, what happened to your no making sweeping statements? So, yeah, I'm going to call myself out.
Okay. By the way, get on the YouTube channel. There's only 51 people here hanging out in the YouTube channel. Go to KIRO News Radio on YouTube and hang out with us. And my buddy Nathan Lawson, he's in there. Brown Stevens. Oh, the whole gang's there. But we need more. All right, what do you got, Ursula?
Well, let's talk about, here's a question for you. Which party do you assign these priorities when it comes to helping the poor? Which party has generally been the party that you think, okay, it's a priority to help the poor?
Okay, I'll play.
Just play.
I'm going to play along. The Republican Party. The Republican Party is the party that helps those without the most in this country. Now, it is up to you and everybody else that heard me say that to show me what they've done.
Okay, and the reason we're saying that is because, I mean, that is something that the Democrats used to have a stake in or basically use as the claim, like we were the party. But that is something that has changed in recent years. And so the question is, despite all this rhetoric about helping the poor, the Republican plan when it comes to this latest budget proposal tells a very different story. So according to a Seattle Times analysis, these proposed cuts to Obamacare and Medicaid would basically result in about 13 million Americans getting bumped off health coverage, including more than 216,000 here in our state. And this is thanks to Danny Westnate, who's laid it out in his column in the Seattle Times. He points out that the biggest hit would actually be on red counties. In eastern Washington, where the economy is not as robust as over on this side, more families actually rely on subsidized care. Counties like Ferry, Pend Oreille, and Adams have more than 50% of working age adults on Medicaid or Obamacare. And here in King County, we're looking at 22%. Now, again, looking at in central Washington, the 4th congressional district, that is deep red territory, 70% of kids are on Medicaid compared to 26% in Seattle's 7th district.
Right.
So with all of these potential cuts and the impacts of this GOP budget proposal, and we have a list of some of the things that are on there right now. I mean, what are some of the things that stand out to you?
Well, let's go with, in this proposal, work requirements. This proposal mandates that able-bodied adults on Medicaid must complete 80 hours of work per month to maintain eligibility. Let's stop right there. So basically, in order to get these benefits, you have to be able to work 80 hours. Hey, I have a question for everyone. Has there ever been a time in your life that you wanted more hours, but the employer couldn't give you more hours? Mm-hmm. Has there ever been a situation? Have you ever been in a situation where you are trying to work, but you just can't get the hours? So then imagine you are begging your boss for the hours, you can't get it, and now you don't qualify.
Yeah, I mean, there are a bunch of that's a great scenario that you point out, and there are a bunch of other ones that would potentially make it impossible for you to meet those 80 hours of work per month to stay eligible. Another one is, okay, imagine you have a home that is worth, or you have home equity that is over $1 million. You would be ineligible for Medicaid. Okay. Now, again, having my dad had just going through that, you might have a home here in the Seattle area that you have that is $1 million.
Yeah.
You have that equity, but you don't have a whole lot of cash.
Mm-hmm.
You know how quickly, remember what I told you, and I should have been very specific about specialized and skilled nursing homes versus assisted living, because I looked it up, and assisted living facilities on average are more like $8,000-$9,000 a month. But if you have any additional care needs, we're talking about, that's where you're talking about $12,000, $14,000, $15,000 a month. So even if you have that home equity of over $1 million, how long is that going to last if you're not eligible for Medicaid?
Exactly. And speaking of that, some of you all have texted in. I remember, Ursula, last week we were talking about prescriptions. Oh, no. Was that this week? We were talking about how much money a month that some of you pay.
And some people
in prescriptions.
texted in, yes, and said they were talking about $3,000 per shot.
Yeah.
And if they didn't have insurance, they would be having to pay that out of pocket. Okay, so a couple of other things. They're talking about there's going to be more. I don't think that's a problem to have more frequent eligibility checks, because there is Medicare and Medicaid fraud, and I think that's all great. But it also includes per capita caps on federal Medicaid spending, and it would limit the amount of federal funds allocated per enrollee. I mean, again, bottom line, we're talking about the folks who may need it the most are going to be the ones most harmed by this budget.
You know, Ursula, this topic, when we are talking about this, I'm not going to get hyper today because I just want to control my emotions. But I get extremely upset because during the course of our show, I am the one that people always text in and says, Gee's always trying to give people money. Gee always wants to give people money. And it's interesting that I get that reputation because I am for people just being able to make it. But when things get hard for those individuals, I could assume that you won't say that same thing, because what has happened is politics supersedes human decency. So it's so important to own the libs. It is so important to tell people, oh, Sleepy Joe Biden, let's go Brandon. At the end of the day, yeah, I know I'm getting sidetracked, but this is what we are dealing with. We are not getting to the core problem in this country. And here's the truth. There are a lot of people that are financially struggling.
Yes.
Period.
But here is the other part of the rub, though. I mean, just the newly passed budget in our state. The Democrats are supposed to be really in tune with the people who are struggling, and we just passed a whole bunch of taxes that, again, are going to hit a lot of the people who are the most vulnerable, one of them being the gas tax increase. I mean, so we're getting hammered both on a federal level and on a state level. I mean, the budget that was passed by the legislature includes huge tax increases.
How else? Okay. How else?
And cuts, and we talked about that. We talked about that again. So, I mean, it's like, it's really hard. You can't only pick one party and say,
No.
These moves are not helping.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, no, I'm picking one party. I'm picking the Republican Party that of both parties. I'm picking. This is the Republican Party. The only thing they do is react and respond to. They never have a plan. As a matter of fact, if I bring up raising minimum wage, what party is going to be against it?
Oh, yes, the Republican Party.
If I bring up helping people with child care, what party is going to be against it? I mean, no. Let's not do this both sides stuff.
Now, looking at what was passed by the Democrats in majority right now in Olympia, are you trying to tell me that that's not going to have a negative impact on people who are already struggling right now?
Yes. It is
going to have an impact.
But we all know why we're having this problem in the state of Washington. Let's call it what it is. We're having this problem where the Democrats have to raise all these taxes because we are a regressively taxed state. That is the number one reason. That is why we're having this problem. Period. And by the way, I wish some of you all down in Olympia would come out and start having this conversation on the record, instead of behind the scenes telling us that the state income tax will be very important. I'm sick and tired of being the radio host that comes on here and you guys think that I'm crazy. These folks are having these conversations behind closed doors and they won't come on a record and talk about it.
You're exactly right. You're exactly right.
Let's talk about the Seahawks schedule. There's one game on this schedule that I got a problem with. We do that next, Gee Ursula.
I've never had any complaints about my performance in the bedroom. But after turning 40, I noticed my libido just wasn't what it used to be. That's when I reached out to Revive Health. Their team knew exactly what I needed, which is why today, my wife and I are both more satisfied than ever.
If you're ready to book your free T-check, text BOOST to 65555 or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com to schedule your appointment. Message and data rates may apply. Message frequency varies. Text help for help. Text stop to cancel. See privacy policy at ReviveMen'sHealth.com/privacy policy. For info on how opt-in info will be used and terms and conditions at ReviveMen'sHealth.com/terms of use for terms of short code service.
Are you looking for a new car? You're going to want to buy it sooner rather than later with everything going on these days. And when you make a big purchase, I know that you want to make sure you are getting the best value for your hard-earned money. And that's what we get when we work with Carter Subaru. We are repeat customers because at Carter Subaru, your drive always begins with savings. Nope, they don't do any high-pressure sales tactics to force you into buying more than you need. Carter Subaru is a local, family-owned business. They are invested in our community, and treating their customers right is their number one priority. With over 300 new vehicles in stock, Carter Subaru has the vehicle that you are looking for, including the 2025 Crosstrek or the 2025 Forester with 3.9% APR for 48 months. Shop with the Carter Subaru Advantage and enjoy valet parking at their Ballard dealership and at-home delivery across all locations.
On approved credit, subject to vehicle insurance and availability. A documentary service fee may be added to the sale price or capitalized cost. See dealer for details. Valid through 5/31/25.
Call or click 811 before you dig. Anything that causes you to roll up your sleeves a little and dig in requires you to first connect with 811. Call or click 811 and visit safeexcavator.com.
The sun is shining. It's a beautiful day out for baseball here at T-Mobile Park.
Home. Home is where you gather. With friends. With family.
Ball to right field. It continues. Jorge Polanco.
Sometimes even folks you don't know. But in a way, you do. Because you share at least one thing in common. And one thing can be pretty powerful when it's multiplied by 40,000.
Everybody on their feet here at T-Mobile Park.
Mariners baseball. Welcome home.
The next Mariners homestand gets started with a 3-day Randy Arozarena bobblehead giveaway against the Nationals, May 27th through May 29th. All 3 games are Mariners value games, which means you can score seats for as little as $11. Go to mariners.com/value games to lock in your tickets today.
An illegal alien from Guatemala charged with raping a child in Massachusetts. An MS-13 gang member from El Salvador accused of murdering a Texas man. A Venezuelan charged with filming and selling child pornography in Michigan. These are just some of the heinous migrant criminals caught because of President Donald J. Trump's leadership. I'm Kristi Noem, the United States Secretary of Homeland Security. Under President Trump, attempted illegal border crossings are at the lowest levels ever recorded, and over 100,000 illegal aliens have been arrested. If you are here illegally, you're next. You will be fined nearly $1,000 a day, imprisoned, and deported. You will never return. But if you register using our CBP Home app and leave now, you could be allowed to return legally. Do what's right. Leave now. Under President Trump, America's laws, border, and families will be protected.
Sponsored by the United States Department of Homeland Security.
Summer is on everyone's mind, and many of us ladies, well, you men too, would like to get rid of that extra stubborn fat and address those areas of loose skin like around the waistline, chin, and upper arms. Maybe you've tried the lasers, fat freezing methods, even those new pills, but without getting the results you were hoping for. Introducing ProSculpt, the new one-day instant permanent fat removal and skin tightening treatment. ProSculpt is minimally invasive, performed while you're fully awake, and it's gentle yet powerful. Designed to target the waistline, chin, neck, arms, and thighs, ProSculpt uses FDA-cleared plasma technology to deliver immediate and permanent fat-reducing and skin-tightening results, all in just one visit. Go to ProSculpt.com today to schedule your free consultation, and for a limited time, get $250 off. Feel confident this summer with instant, permanent fat reduction and skin tightening that works for women and men too. ProSculpt.com.
It is the Gee and Ursula Show. Appreciate you all listening. Hey, coming up at 10 o'clock, Chef, you know, we got something on the notes here, but then Chef asked us a question. Is that still on the move? 10 o'clock?
Oh, yeah, we're doing it.
Okay, remember when I made the sweeping statement about bank robbers?
Yeah.
And I said they can't be very smart if they're going to be...
No, you didn't say it like that.
I said bank robbers are not smart.
That's what you said?
Yes. I said, yeah.
Are you taking it back?
No. Bank robbers are not smart. If they think they can get away with it, they're not smart. Well, lo and behold, we have a bank robber, well, apparently a retired one, someone who now is reformed, who texted in. We looked up his history, sure enough, and he's going to join us in the next hour.
I got questions. And by the way,
Is that at 10:30? Chef, did we decide? 10:30? Oh, 10 o'clock.
And by the way, I disagree with you. I think bank robbers are usually very smart. You know what I mean? I do. All right.
Okay.
Ursula, the schedule came out yesterday. The Seattle Seahawks, some of you all have seen the schedule. You all see who they're going to play, where they're going to play, what time they're going to play. And let me start off by telling you, I was not excited when I first saw the schedule. What was I not excited about? Game 1 at home. Division game, divisional rival, the San Francisco 49ers. Here's the analogy I have for you of game 1. Imagine starting off your day every single morning listening to G. Scott yelling in your ear. It'd be terrible, right? Like, if you think about it, you got to build up to get my energy because it'd be a bit much.
Yes.
Well, the San Francisco 49ers, game 1, no, that's too much. Let's build up. And then you got the Niners, game 1. Then you go on the road, Ursula, to the Steelers across the country, Pittsburgh Steelers. By the way, their quarterback is most likely going to be Aaron Rodgers. So the first 4 games, you have the Niners, you have the Steelers on the road, you have the Saints at home, and then you have Thursday Night Football down in Arizona against the Cardinals. By the way, I am going to go down to Arizona. That sounds like a perfect time to go. Love Arizona in September. 2 divisional games within the first 4 games. So what does this mean? What this means is it's the equivalent of right now you go get on a scale and find out the truth early on. The Seahawks this season, and you fans, you will find out early on what type of season this is going to be within those first 4 games.
Okay, so we're going to get smacked in the face with reality right off the bat.
Right. No, it could be great.
Instead of having this false hope of having a really great team, and then all of a sudden you start getting some of the really tough opponents, and then you're like, wait a minute, what happened?
That's how I look at life. How about you, Ursula? Would you rather face the tough opponent right away, or would you like to build into that?
Okay, I'm just going to go, because I'm on a roll right now, I'm going to go with the opposite of what you're saying, and I'm going to go get it over with. See how good you are right now.
Okay.
Go with the tough one.
Okay.
And get a reality check, and then adjust from there. Mm-hmm. Either you're going to rise to the occasion, or you're going to have to make some serious adjustments.
Well said, Ursula. Well said. So in this schedule, there are 4 primetime games. That's awesome. By the way, there are 3 teams in the NFL that have 0 primetime games, and I think the Cleveland Browns is one of them, and I can't remember the other 2. But the Seahawks last year had 4 primetime games. This year they have 4 primetime games. Ursula, is Thursday Night Football in September. They have Monday Night Football, which is October 20th. And by the way, watch this. The Monday Night Football game against the Houston Texans is at guess what time, y'all? 7 o'clock p.m. Pacific time.
What? Why?
So guess what's happening? I'm glad you asked.
Oh, doubleheader.
Well, guess what's happening? Check this out. It's going to be on ESPN Plus. It's going to be a paywall for those outside of this area. Now, here, we'll most likely get to watch it maybe on ABC or something like that. We'll get that for free. But outside of here, it's going to be a paywall to watch let's say, Ursula, you and Long Live Mark, because y'all ain't got no kids in the crib no more, and y'all are empty nesters.
Yes.
Let's say you said to Long Live Mark, you know, babe, I want to watch every game this season. I want to be able to watch all the NFL games. Guess how much it costs?
How much?
$1,800.
Oh, that's never going to happen in my household.
$1,800.
Okay.
Wait, how much are season tickets?
More than that.
Okay.
Here's my question for you, though. Mm-hmm. If you could give me your elevator speech about this coming Seahawks season and why it is going to be must listen, must watch, and just exciting and different, what is your speech?
This is the first time in 15 years that it truly is a new era. This is the first time that you don't have anything and anyone of the past. You know what I mean? Like everybody is all
new QB,
right? This is like having a new boyfriend or a new girlfriend. You got a new car. Your credit is good. It's all paid up. You don't have no more credit card debt. You start new. And by the way, and this topic right here, this is very specific that I don't think Chef or Nick, you guys know anything about this. But Ursula, there's a feeling that some men get when they leave the barbershop, right?
Yes.
When you leave the barbershop and you get in the car and you look,
that extra
and you
bounce
look
in your step.
You look at yourself in the rearview mirror and you don't take off yet. Then you pull out your phone. Chef, you take a selfie.
Why you got to be taking shots?
The feeling you get, Ursula, when you leave that barbershop and you got that fresh fade and you got that fresh cut.
Yes.
That's the Seahawks right now.
Okay.
They got that fresh fade. Now, the Seahawks are going to go to the club week 1 and they go to Cafe Arizona, and they wearing their best fit.
Okay. And like I said, they need to show up.
And show out. Ursula, boy, you've been doing this show with me a while now. Hey, coming up next, here's the first time, a Gee and Ursula first. We talk to a bank robber next. Gee and Ursula.
Ready to order?
Yes. We're earning unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with a Capital One Saver card, so let's just get one of everything.
Everything?
Fire everything. The Capital One Saver card is at table 27, and they're earning unlimited 3% cash back.
Yes, Chef! This is so nice.
Had a feeling you'd want 3% cash back on dessert.
Ooh, tiramisu.
Earn unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver card. Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Get ready for Camping World's Red, White, and New Trade Event, May 15th through the 18th. Get the highest value for your RV guaranteed during the biggest RV trade event of the year. Shop the best RV deals in America with new RVs starting as low as $92 a month. Get ready for the holiday weekend with up to 45% off grills and 25% off product installation. Plus, we'll have free hats, free propane refills, free food, and fun for the whole family. Don't miss the incredible Red, White, and New Trade Event, May 15th through the 18th at your local Camping World.
See dealer for full details and disclaimer.
Hi, it's John Curley. Longevity Medical Clinic has been helping people live longer, healthier lives for more than 25 years. I've recently talked with Dr. Mixon about his approach to proactively focusing on prevention. Dr. Mixon, I first met you in 2009, and I went in there and I told you I wasn't feeling well, couldn't gain any muscle mass, couldn't sleep well, I was stressed out, and you looked at me and you said, yeah, I know what your problem is.
And all we did was we measured your values and we moved your values back to those of a nice, healthy 25-year-old man.
I have taken your blood work to my doctor, and he was shocked. He couldn't believe the depth in which you study my blood.
We need to draw a distinction between living a long time and getting old. And that's what longevity is all about, is we are here to do the measurements and help you fix those problems.
So get your free health analysis. Go to longevitymedicalclinic.com. That's longevitymedicalclinic.com.
KIRO News Radio, winners of 3 2025 Regional Edward R. Murrow Awards. Feature reporting, sports reporting, and overall excellence.
And we thank you. We are the Northwest leading news station because of you, inspiring us every day to deliver the local news and stories you care about.
KIRO News Radio on 97.3 FM.
Watch and listen anywhere by downloading the KIRO Newsradio app, and always stay connected at mynorthwest.com.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Now is the perfect time to start on your next success. An accredited state university, University of Maryland Global Campus offers online and hybrid courses. Plus, you can earn up to 90 credits toward a bachelor's for prior learning and work experience, or transfer up to 12 credits toward a master's. No application fee if you apply by May 30th. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
Charlie Harger here. When your hot turns to cold, you better think fast. Fast water heater. Call 1-800-THINK-FAST. That's 1-800-THINK-FAST or fastwaterheater.com.
You better think fast. Fast water heater.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio. KIRO FM and HD1. Tacoma, Seattle. Northwest.
This is CBS News on the Hour. Sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Steve Kathan. President Trump's bid to end birthright citizenship goes before the U.S. Supreme Court.
At issue is whether 3 lower courts have the authority to block Trump's order nationwide or just in the 22 states that have challenged the order. Solicitor General D. John Sauer argued those district judges overreached with their universal injunctions.
They operate asymmetrically, forcing the government to win everywhere while the plaintiffs can win anywhere.
Justice Elena Kagan is a former Solicitor General.
If I were in your shoes, there is no way I'd approach the Supreme Court with this case.
Michael Wallace, CBS News.
From Wisconsin, reporter Bruce Marcus has the latest legal action for a judge who was indicted earlier this week.
Judge Hannah Dugan has pleaded not guilty to obstruction charges. She's accused of helping the undocumented immigrant escape federal agents in the courthouse. Progressive groups have rallied for Dugan, but Republicans defend the charges. Wisconsin Congressman Tom Tiffany.
You have to follow the law. She is a judge.
If convicted, the judge faces 6 years in prison and a $350,000 fine. She's already been suspended by the state Supreme Court.
Walmart today blamed tariffs for price increases it plans to roll out at stores this month. Democratic lawmakers today labeled Trump tariffs and policies a baby tax. California Congressman Jimmy Gomez.
Cost of strollers, up. The cost of car seats, up. The cost of cribs, up. The cost of baby wipes, up. The cost of diapers, up. And tariffs on these essentials are a tax on working families.
Overseas, Jerusalem reporter Linda Gradstein tells us
the Gaza Health Ministry, which is affiliated with Hamas, said that the European hospital in Gaza is out of commission after one of the Israeli airstrikes, leaving cancer patients with no treatment. The Israeli airstrikes come as President Trump said the U.S. should take Gaza and make it a freedom zone. Israel has begun calling up tens of thousands of reservists for a possible renewed large operation operation in Gaza.
Well, CBS's Omar Villafranca is covering the Texas heat wave.
George Perez of San Antonio Metro Health told us the city has converted many libraries into cooling centers.
So for one, they can come in and get some cool water. That's one thing we really have to worry about is the dehydration.
The National Weather Service says this is one of the most severe May heat waves the region has ever seen.
Reports say singer Chris Brown was arrested today in the UK. It's about an alleged assault dating back to 2023. Wall Street, right now the Dow is up 188. This is CBS News.
Sponsored by Progressive. Protect your auto, home, and business with Progressive and get 24/7 coverage. See if you can save at Progressive.com. That's Progressive.com.
Breaking news involving SPD and a SWAT team. That story coming up. But first, from the Beacon Plumbing Traffic Desk, traffic on I-5 North from Boeing Field to downtown Seattle going slow. Also slow going on northbound State Route 99 near the stadiums. And 405 North from 167 to the Kennydale area just north of Renton. Also going slow. Travel times, Federal Way to Seattle, 43 minutes. Everett to Seattle, 40 minutes. Traffic brought to you by Seattle Sports. You can always listen to your favorite local sports content on the FM dial on 97.3 HD2.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Derek Wing. We've got some breaking news to pass along. Seattle police say SWAT officers and a hostage negotiation team are trying to take a suspect into custody. This is happening along Lake City Way Northeast. Seattle police says to avoid the area. KIRO News Radio's James Lynch is on his way to the scene and will bring you the latest once we know more. A serial robber strikes again. Seattle police and the FBI say the woman robbed the U.S. Bank on McGraw Street in Magnolia Monday. KIRO 7's Samantha Lobmibo reports that the suspect is believed to have robbed at least 7 banks since July.
Video of the suspect showing her at a Home Street bank in Madison Park on March 18th, wearing sunglasses and a beanie. Before that, police say she robbed banks in January, November, October, September, and June throughout the city. Each time, she's got a different look. But people I spoke with say those disguises won't last long.
Sooner or later, she will get caught.
The FBI says she's stolen a total of about $7,500 so far.
In Pierce County, the library system hit by hackers. The library catalog was down recently for more than a week, and the library confirms some library data was taken. Details of the accessed information are still under investigation, and a spokesperson tells the News Tribune that people whose personal information was impacted will be notified. No word yet when things will be back up and running. It's almost time for the summer concert series at Marymoor Park in Redmond. The 2025 lineup is out now. More than 20 concerts will be held from May 27th to September 18th, and some of the biggest names include 311.
Hammer is the color of your energy.
And others performing are Iggy Pop, Cypress Hill, Sublime, and Smokey Robinson. Tickets to the shows are available now. Skagit County is prepping for wildfire season. A modified burn ban will go into effect on June 15th in unincorporated areas. The county says it's due to the current and forecasted weather conditions. Speaking of weather conditions, this weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Partly cloudy with showers this afternoon, a high of 56 degrees. Currently, it's 52 in downtown Seattle. I'm Derek Wing.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show with G. Scott and Ursula Reutin.
What's up, everybody? It is the Gee and Ursula Show. Happy Thursday, May 15th. Good morning to you, Ursula.
Good morning, G.
I'm super excited.
Well, we've got a guest on the line, so we're going to get right to it. But I just want to remind everybody, our text line is open for you, 888-973-5476, 888-973-KIRO. And in fact, it was a text on our text line that brought us to what we're just about to do, which is unusual for the Gee and Ursula Show to grab a guest right off the text line because of a story that we are covering. So let's get to it.
What's new at 10?
So we were talking about bank robbers because there is a serial bank robber that just hit a bank in Magnolia, a woman who is described as being in her 20s, of Asian descent. And you and I got into a discussion, and I said, I think she's going to be caught because her face is very visible. And I made a sweeping statement. I said, bank robbers are not smart if they think that they're not going to eventually get caught.
Yeah.
And that kind of got us into this discussion.
Right. And I just want you to know that thank you, Chef, for getting this guest. Because I'm telling y'all right now, I'm looking forward to talking to this person more so than when we talk to a mayor, we talk to any politician. Like, I'm super excited.
Yes. Okay. So we're going to call Mike one of those old school pros when it came to bank robberies.
Yep.
He is a longtime Gee and Ursula Show listener, and it turns out he once pulled off 7 armed robberies across the Pacific Northwest in the early 90s. And Mike joins us now on the Gee and Ursula Show. Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, so just tell us, when were these bank robberies, and give us a little bit about your background that led you to rob banks.
Well, actually, there's like 14. I got caught in my 14th.
Wow.
And that was over 2 series. So I did I can't remember, it was like 6 or 8. And then I actually turned myself in the first time around. And then went back to it and got caught in like my 8th one or something like that.
Wow.
So, but yeah, I grew up in a broken home and basically didn't feel like life was going the way I expected or what I believed my father expected. And so, the bills piled up, marriage crumbles, the whole 9 yards. And that just seemed like an easy way out.
Okay, Mike, take us back. Take us back to the day you realized things weren't going right. You wanted to make a change in your life. Tell us how you planned your first heist. Take us through it.
Okay. So we're going back into the 1984, 83.
Okay.
Somewhere back in there. I literally worked in a bank as a teller, married, drowning in debt, 1-bedroom apartment, 2 kids, living in almost downtown Seattle. Okay. Our apartment overlooked the Denny exit going northbound. And, you're sitting there dealing with money all day, became a vault teller, and I'm looking at $250,000 sitting in this vault and thinking, yep, that's the place to get it. And I called in sick, I believe, one day and went out and robbed 2 banks. I actually was only going to do one. I robbed one, just the teller. And then the adrenaline was just so high, I was like, I got to go do another one. And we went and robbed a second one. And it was just kind of a downhill slide from there. And told my wife when I got home, and after a while we were arguing, and I can't remember what we were talking about, but it was I think I was talking about moving or something to get away from the heat from robbing the banks, and she said something about me being scared or something like that, and that's when I decided I'm turning myself in for this one, and which is what I did, and I got 18 months for it with 5 years probation.
Wait, hold on, Mike. Okay, Mike. So, wait, you went out on lunch break. You robbed the banks. You robbed 2.
Well,
Did you?
No, I believe I called out sick.
Called out sick. Okay, so you went out and you did that, and then you you got away with it. You told your wife about it, and she said you're scared, and so this motivated you to go turn yourself in. Take us through that decision for you to turn yourself in?
So she was a big B, okay, and we fought nonstop, okay. So divorce was in my mind. So I'm looking at this going, well, if I divorce, then she's got something hanging over my head. So the easiest way to deal with this is to wipe this thing for blackmail off the slate. And so that's what motivated me to turn myself in.
And how much had you stolen from the bank? How much did you get in those 2 robberies?
So that run there, I think I was 6 banks, and I can't remember. It was only like 20, 30 grand.
20 or 30 grand?
Yeah.
Okay, so then you turned yourself in, served the 18 months plus probation.
18 months.
Okay, and
Got
then
out.
yes, and then what happened?
Out. And then I moved out of the Seattle area, went back to where I lived or where I grew up, and was doing different types of works. And I was sitting there one night with a buddy. I was living in a 20-foot travel trailer. And we got talking about money and stuff, and we both looked at each other at the same time and said, let's go rob a bank. And so we just kind of planned out. We went and did some surveillance on several banks and figured out one that looked like it was the best deal. And we went in and took over the whole bank and took as much money as we could carry out of the vaults. It was like one of the big duffel bags full that I couldn't close.
How much?
Was over 200,000. It's like 230,000 or something like that.
So Mike, let me ask. So you get 230,000 at that point. At that point, right there, you got away with it. Why do you want to do more?
So you take this 230,000 and you divide it up between the two of you, because I had co-defendants in this. Divide it up between the two of you, and you start not worrying about work, not worrying about anything. You start just reaching in this paper bag and grabbing out a packet of money. Okay, well, that bag runs empty. And you've lost all momentum in your life for work, and so let's go do another. Let's go do another. And this guy, I think, did 2 with me, and then somebody else did a couple, and then somebody else did 1 or 2 with me, and you just get to living out of a bag of money.
What did you spend your money on?
Anywhere from property to clothes to kids to whatever. You know, I wasn't.
You weren't feeding a drug
means.
habit or a gambling habit?
Nope. Wasn't feeding any of that. I was just enjoying life, essentially.
Mike, looking back, obviously, no, let's not even go back yet. Let's go back to fast forward. Let's go back to the time. So around 1990s, you finally get caught. Yep. What happened that you got caught?
So went to rob a bank in Everett, and the guy that was going to do it with me bailed on him the night before, and I had some debts coming up the next day that I was banking on this money for, and so I went and did it on my own. Well, what I didn't know was people had figured out that we were casing this bank, and so they were. This is my belief, and that they were, saw me coming in the next morning. Or actually, it was in the evening. I did it at closing, and they called the cops. And so I had barely gotten in the bank, and the cops showed up.
So, Mike, describe the arrest and then what ended up happening after you were finally caught again.
So the arrest is surreal. I mean, you see the people coming out of a car or something and walking backwards and hands up, and to me, that was a very surreal thing, and I don't know what you want to know beyond that. But
well, so how long did you get? So after you were convicted of the last bank robberies, how long did you get?
So initially, I was looking at 8.5 years, and then one of the guys that was my co-defendant rolled on me.
Have you been out, and how long have you been bank robbery free?
I went to a halfway house in late 2005. So it's been about 20 years, almost 20 years. Well, bank robbery free, that's been since 93.
Okay, yeah, right, exactly. That's true. And have you had the urge since then to do the same, given that you had already served once and then did it again? Have you had the urge, and what are you doing to not go down that route again?
Well, thoughts always come into your brain. You know, you start getting into a tight spot and you go, well, that's so easy. But I'm 2 strikes, 3 strikes. That's the end of things. I'm married, have a great wife. I couldn't get any better than that. I've got great kids, even though, you know, they have their own issues. I don't need to go down that road. I grew up in prison. I did all the programs. I rehabbed myself in prison. Okay, yeah. They have drug and alcohol programs. They have counseling. They have, well, they did back then. I don't know what they have now. But I got my AA through correspondence while I was there, and got on my way to having a bachelor's.
You know, Mike, that's exactly what I wanted to ask you about. Is I wanted to talk about the 13 years in prison that you spent, and you said that there were programs and things to help you rehabilitate. Would you say that your time in prison, spending time for, serving the consequences, prepared you when you got out of prison?
Yes, only because I made it do that. There are so many people in prison that just scoff at all that, and they're planning their next caper when they get out, and they're learning all about different ways to do crimes. It's actually a pretty low percentage that actually takes advantage of any programs in there. I watch people go through the drug and alcohol program. One guy I went through it. I was in a holding cell while we were going to court. He was on heroin. He was a bank robber. He had his whole shirt was full of holes from cigarette burns and from nodding off. And he went through this program. He was a stellar inmate. He got out, and the first thing he did in the halfway house was OD.
Oh, man.
So yep. And so, I mean, there's some fakers in there, and there's some people like me that actually make it.
Well, last question. I know you told us about your current, you have a wife and everything, and things going great. How about employment? How about work? How have you been able to navigate after prison, being that you are you have a felony on your record too? So in the halfway house, and you're getting a job, and I got a job at a pizza place, you're forced to tell them you're in the halfway house, okay? That you just got out of prison. And that actually went okay. The people were like, they couldn't wait to hire me because they thought I was such a novel person, I've worked at big box stores. I got to be an assistant manager in a big box store. I've just kind of worked around. I've done miscellaneous jobs here and there. I don't want to say what I'm doing right now because I have a large clientele list that about 99% of the people don't know anything about my background.
Mike, first of all, I just want to say, for those of you who are just tuning in and listening, Mike is a former serial bank robber who was listening to one of our top stories and texted us. You have been a longtime listener of the Gee and Ursula Show, and I just want to say, first of all, thank you for sharing your story. Looking back, if you could talk to yourself years ago before you decided to rob your first bank, what would you tell yourself, knowing what you know today?
The money's there. The money's great. I did an interview, and I think it was KIRO 7 came down and did an interview with me, I believe. And they asked me a question similar to this, and I pretty much threw it back the same way. But the worst thing about crimes like this is the harm you do to the other people on the other side of the counter.
Yes.
Okay. Some of these banks I hit twice. Okay. Well, one person had to quit their job and get counseling with other things. I mean, I hurt some people doing this, and I would tell myself it's not worth it for other people.
Dave, Mike, I hear definitely in your voice I can hear just how compassionate you are about people. And so we thank you for being honest and sharing this story with us. We really learned a lot. Thank you.
I appreciate you, G. I just want to say I really like you now, but I really didn't like you when you did nights.
Oh, you did?
But, no, I didn't. I love you now, man.
What? Hey, real quick before you go. Hey, Mike, why? Why didn't you like me at night?
So being in prison, I hear all this brother this and brother that, and that's what I heard at night. And I didn't hear any counterpoint. But with Ursula's a great counterpoint to you, and she tames a lot of that out. And I think I get a better view of you with Ursula.
Oh, okay.
Cute.
Leave it to the women. Let me tell you.
Hey, Mike, either way, we're seriously extremely grateful. You have been with us for a long time. Thank you for listening and hanging out with us, brother.
See? Thank you for turning it around.
You see how?
All right, thank you very much.
You see how I turned that brother on you? You see how I did that?
I did. I caught that.
Oh my goodness! Wow.
All right,
Mike. Thank you. Okay, if you missed any part of that interview, you need to go back on our podcast. Like, that is a Gee and Ursula show first.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. All right. Luke Ducey. Okay. Serious question. Do you remember when I talked about my 23andMe experience? Have you got up and hung out and took the whole 23andMe? Well, you want to stick around because, this is not going to be fun. And KIRO News reporter Luke Ducey is going to tell us why. Gee and Ursula.
This hour is brought to you by Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington.
KIRO News Radio, winners of 3 2025 Regional Edward R. Murrow Awards, including Overall Excellence.
KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey live in Linwood.
Bunch of tall trees in a wooded area just off of Alderwood Mall Parkway.
And we thank you.
We are the Northwest leading news station because of you, inspiring us every day to deliver the local news and stories you care about.
KIRO News Radio on 97.3 FM.
The Peace Lily is so last year. Hey, has anyone worked with fiddlenecks?
Shelby's popular flower shop is in full bloom.
We just got a request for an arrangement that evokes air. Who's up for that challenge? No?
She needs to hire a floral designer to nip foliage faux pas in the bud.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Our advanced matching helps find talented candidates so you can connect with them fast. Redeem your $75 credit at Indeed.com/credit. Terms and conditions apply.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place for changes big and small. Loud or quiet, find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
With Progressive Snapshot, you could save on auto insurance rates by driving safely, which is nice because you can just keep doing you. So keep on using that broken phone charger because it occasionally works. Keep quoting something you heard on a podcast as your own. Keep ignoring your sister's texts while you drive and after. And when baggage claim says, have a great trip, keep on saying, you too. And keep driving safely. And you could save with Snapshot from Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Snapshot not available in California or from all agents. Surcharge possible for unsafe driving.
Get ready for Camping World's Red, White, and New Trade Event, May 15th through the 18th. Get the highest value for your RV guaranteed during the biggest RV trade event of the year. Shop the best RV deals in America with new RVs starting as low as $92 a month. Get ready for the holiday weekend with up to 45% off grills and 25% off product installation. Plus, we'll have free hats, free propane refills, free food, and fun for the whole family. Don't miss the incredible Red, White, and New Trade Event, May 15th through the 18th at your local Camping World.
See with the full details and disclaimer.
Ladies, and you guys too, have you noticed visible signs of aging, those deep wrinkles, fine lines, and facial creases stealing your youthful glow? Sagging skin, crow's feet, and loss of facial contour are all natural effects of aging, but you no longer have to let them define your appearance. Introducing the New Skin Lift, the groundbreaking facelift led by Dr. Brian Scott. The advanced New Skin Lift addresses key signs of facial aging for women and men, restoring natural youthful contours. Whether it's replenishing volume lost over time or lifting the skin to smooth out those creases, the New Skin Lift can help you look 10 to 20 years younger with both surgical and non-surgical options. It's Hollywood's best kept secret and now available to you. Get a free consultation and save $250 off your New Skin facelift. Schedule at newskinlift.com or 206-222-1225. Look 10 to 20 years younger and restore your youthful appearance with the New Skin facelift. newskinlift.com.
Do you notice sounds coming from your crawl space or attic, or possibly stale or foul odors in your home? This could be that rodents have gotten into your attic and crawl and have made it their home. They tear up the insulation to make nests to have babies. They contaminate it with their biological waste, which can be harmful to your health. And they ruin your home's energy blanket, costing you thousands of dollars a year. If you even think you may have a problem, call Insulation Northwest today, and we will come to your home as soon as tomorrow and perform a free, no-obligation inspection to determine what the problem is. This inspection normally costs $199, but it's yours free just for calling today. If we discover any problem with rodents in your home, we can get them out and keep them out and restore your home's protective insulation blanket back to brand new condition. Let Insulation Northwest give peace and comfort back to you and your family and save you thousands of dollars in energy savings. Call Insulation Northwest today, the real insulation company.
InsulationNorthwest.com.
We're here with our friend Steve Teitler of Best Mortgage, the reverse mortgage expert. Steve, mortgage rates have been dropping this year. How could that help seniors struggling to stay in their homes?
Lower mortgage rates means seniors can now get more money from their equity with a reverse mortgage. You can pay off your existing mortgage, have extra money to help with today's high cost of living, or believe it or not, you can even buy a home with a reverse mortgage. There are many uses, and best of all, you have no mortgage payments the rest of your life.
But as you always say, a reverse mortgage is not for everyone.
That's right. Avoid the high-pressure sales pitch from those out-of-state call centers. I give you a consultation, not a sales pitch. I'll tell you if a reverse mortgage is right for you, and I always tell you if it's not.
Honest advice you can trust from the reverse mortgage experts. Best Mortgage, the VA loan experts and debt consolidation specialists too. 425-649-6000. Best Mortgage, 425-649-6000.
Thy ticket, Lady Jennifer of Coolidge.
Well, many thanks, good sir. Here'th my Discover card.
They accept Discover at Renaissance fairs?
Yeah, they do here. Discover's accepted at the places I love to shop. Getteth with the times.
With the times?
You're playing the lute. Yeah, and it sounds pretty good, right?
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.
Sometimes an identity threat is a ring of professional hackers. And sometimes it's an overworked accountant who forgot to encrypt their connection while sending bank details.
I need a coffee.
And you need LifeLock, because your info is in endless places. It only takes one mistake to expose you to identity theft. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
Now more than ever, you want to buy your next vehicle from a dealership you trust. For me, that's Carter Subaru. Ursula Reutin here. Right now, you can get the 2025 Crosstrek or the 2025 Forester with 3.9% APR for 48 months. Shop the Carter Subaru Advantage and enjoy valet parking at their Ballard dealership and at-home delivery across all locations.
On approved credit, subject to vehicle insurance and availability. A documentary service fee may be added to the sale price or capitalized cost. See dealer for details. Valid through 5/31/25.
Experience the thrill of seeing orcas and humpback whales with Puget Sound Express. Join their family-run tours for guaranteed whale sightings, departing daily from Edmonds. These are Seattle's most popular and well-reviewed whale tours. Book now at PugetSoundExpress.com.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and MyNorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Derek Wing. Breaking news, Seattle police say officers, SWAT, and a hostage negotiation team are trying to take a suspect into custody. This is happening along Lake City Way Northeast, and Seattle police say to avoid the area. KIRO News Radio's James Lynch is on the scene, and we'll bring you the latest once we know more. In other news, 2 officer-involved shootings are under investigation right now in Kitsap County. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey has more, including audio from the newly released body cam video from a shooting in Paulsbo.
Hey, he's exiting. Put your hands up now! Hey, he's got a knife. Back up. Hey, watch out. I'm going to pepper ball.
Moments after Paulsbo officers fired pepper balls at 41-year-old Justin Mogling, then tasered him twice back on May 7th. Body cam video shows the suspect appearing to lunge at officers while holding a knife. Investigators say Mogling died from gunshot wounds. In Bremerton, late Wednesday night, a Kitsap spokesperson says 5 deputies and 2 state troopers confronted a prowling suspect in a Fred Meyer's parking lot off Highway 303. That suspect is in stable condition. No word yet whether deputies or troopers fired those shots. Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
The man accused of stabbing one person and robbing another in West Seattle will be back in court to face charges today. He appeared earlier this week where bail was set at $250,000. The man is accused of stabbing someone on California Avenue Southwest Monday night. Seattle police say the suspect also grabbed a second victim's arm and stole her phone and threatened a third person with a knife. Swire Coca-Cola employees in Western Washington reached a last-minute agreement this morning, preventing a strike that could have disrupted production and distribution across the region. According to KIRO 7 TV, the deal comes after weeks of negotiations over wages, health care, and cost of living concerns. Union representatives say the agreement addresses key worker demands. The next step is a vote on the contract changes. On Wall Street, the Dow is up 168 points, S&P 500 up 25, and the NASDAQ up 34. From the Beacon Plumbing Traffic Desk, a crash on I-5 southbound in downtown Seattle near the convention center is slowing things down back to Lake Union. Traffic is also slow on I-5 north from Boeing Field to downtown Seattle, and 405 north from 167 to just north of Renton Landing. Things are slow there too. Travel times: Federal Way to Seattle, 38 minutes. Everett to Seattle, 38 minutes. Renton to Bellevue, 27 minutes. This traffic report brought to you by Beacon Plumbing. For all your heating, electrical, septic, and mechanical needs, stop freaking, call Beacon. Now, a weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Partly cloudy with showers this afternoon, a high of 56. It's 53 in downtown Seattle. I'm Derek Wing.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO Newsradio Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show. If you missed our interview with the now retired serial bank robber, make sure that you listen to our podcast because it was a phenomenal interview that you don't want to miss. So again, we did that in the 10 o'clock segment. But right now, Gee, anytime I see 23andMe, I think of you because you did it.
Yeah.
And you found out some surprising results.
Yeah. And this entire time, I've been proud about it until Luke Ducey.
Oh. So Luke Ducey is here. What did you tell Gee about 23andMe that makes him worried?
Well, I told him you got to get rid of you. You got to get rid of it.
Yeah. And I'm like, get rid of it? What? Get rid of the app off my phone? No, there's more to it.
Oh, you got to go in there and you got to get rid of. You got to do a lot of stuff. And I would encourage everyone else to do it too. And we've got directions on My Northwest. I did a story about this. And you go to the AG's, Attorney General's website as well, because 23andMe is selling. They went bankrupt. They're going to sell themselves, and that data is not protected. Whoever buys it can use it for whatever reason. You don't own your own genetic data when you subscribe to a direct to consumer genetic testing company like that.
Okay, that is worrisome.
That's one thing. Another story that I've been doing, though, and working on involves direct-to-consumer sites like this that you would go on to look up your ancestry or, connect with different relatives based on your DNA.
Exactly.
That presents scary issues, too.
Okay, so what are some of those scary issues?
Well, this whole debate about this kind of sparked with a case on the guy known as the Golden State Killer back in 2018, and I'll let listeners kind of look that up. This guy, sentenced to 26 counts or convicted 26 counts of murder and kidnapping. But here is the debate basically that we're facing these days. Most would agree putting a murderer like that behind bars is a good thing, right? Yeah. It also helps bring closure to families and family victims and family members. But what if it comes at the expense of the privacy of other people's data or their informed consent? So let's say your brother uploaded his DNA to one of these sites. Siblings share about 50% DNA. But you are a very private person and do not want your DNA shared with the world, especially with police. And the last thing you want is to be part of a police investigation when all you really wanted to do was look up your ancestors, right? Well, here's University of Washington professor of bioethics, Malia Fullerton.
I had no say in that decision for him to effectively put 50% of my genetic information into a public place.
So there's a dilemma there. But there's more. What if that police department then stored your DNA info in their database as part of their case, right? And a bad actor came along and hacked in and exposed that data.
If somebody hacks into my credit card or something and steals my identity, I can get a new credit card. I cannot get a new genome.
Can't do that. So back to the original question for both of you, I think. So is this good police work that police officers are doing this? Or is it like a covert search of privately uploaded DNA without a warrant? Or is it a little bit of both?
It is a little bit of both. Mm-hmm. I have seen stories, one story in particular, where there was a police investigation. They nabbed who the person was because of 23andMe or one of the sites. But the thing is, to do that, they also had to find out all of these people. Well, this person is related to the killer, and now that is holding it over themselves, right? Like you Google their name, they are the cousin to that killer that they found. They've done nothing. They got a clean record, but because they share the same DNA, that person has been talked about. So I can see both sides of this, and I can definitely see the side of when it comes to your information. Me, I was naive, Ursula, and I figured, okay, this is cool just to find a family. The thing is when they, like, you can't change your DNA. So in the future, when you try to go get life insurance, in the future, when you try to go get some of these things and you're finding out like, well, wait, why did I get denied? Well, this DNA can show like, hey, your family is susceptible to this type of disease and all those things. So this is scary.
So question though, what were you trying to do by doing the 23andMe?
I'm glad you asked. My son, baby G, sent me his results. And when I saw his results, I was like, huh? Why don't you have more black in you, in your results? Why do you have so much, right?
Caucasian.
Like, Caucasian, right?
Yes.
So his mom was Caucasian. I'm black. So it should have been a 50-50.
Right.
And so I couldn't understand why it was so much on the white side.
Right.
So that in itself motivated me to find out why.
Yes.
Am I the daddy? No, I didn't go that far. I know I'm the dad.
Yes.
So when I go to do it, and as you all know, come to find out, I have so much Irish shit in me. Now that made sense. So that was the only reason. That was a great question, Ursula. Only reason why I did it was because of that.
Okay, my next question for you is, do you regret that you did it?
No.
Okay.
No.
Given now what Luke is talking about what can be done. So what are they advising people to do? If you've done 23andMe or any of these tests where the information is out there, what can you do?
It's kind of not a lot because, after the Golden State Killer case in 2018, there were some things done, like the U.S. Justice Department adopted some restrictions. Most consumer genealogical databases created barriers as well against law enforcement access, but only one state, Maryland, actually passed some legislation to develop guardrails. So if you, buyer beware, if you give your DNA to, a site that, for whatever purpose you want, just know that their terms of use. Here's my wife, we were talking about this the other night, and she said, you know what, it may be a point now where there is no excuse not to read the fine print. You got to do that now, especially in terms of what we're talking about.
I'll tell you what I think. So Ursula, great question. Do I regret it? No, because I would have never known how much. It's cool to know.
Yeah.
It's cool to know that I'm dang near 21% Irish. A lot of questions now. I got to find out.
Right.
But, however, I know Luke Ducey, he put it up on mynorthwest.com on how you are able to delete your info. Here's the truth, and here's what I believe. I believe once you do it, it's out there forever.
Yeah.
I don't believe in my heart, Ursula, that I'm going to go through the steps and they're going to be like, hey, get rid of G. Scott's stuff. What? No.
The thing I really appreciate about this information being out there is the number of cold cases that have been solved because of this.
Mm-hmm.
And I just got a text from one of my former SPD friends, retired SPD, who says that he has a success story through Ancestry.com where they found his wife's half-sister through DNA testing after years and years and years of trying to find her. So there are many success stories,
Absolutely.
but also you got to just be realize.
Like anything in life, there's a lot of middle ground. There's a lot of gray area, but certainly it's absolutely fun to do. And I did 23andMe, and there's so much good that comes out of it too.
What did you find out?
That I have no Native American anything. Like Grandma, we were always part Chippewa, and that's not. And I was bummed. I was like, no, that's not cool. No,
I know. And that's another thing about these things. It'd be a lot of lying going on.
Matter of fact, that's the most common one. I have Native American in me.
Matter of fact, I got a homeboy that's going to a family reunion in July, and it's the first family reunion after 40 years of the truth finally being told through ancestry and all that stuff. Can't lie no more. I'm the baby daddy. What movie is that, Ursula? I'm the pappy. Anybody know that movie?
It's a Maury Povich.
Oh.
Yeah, no, it sounds like Maury Povich to me. What is it?
I'm the pappy. No, text him, 888-973-5476. Who's going to be the one that knows that
I'm
one?
glad you didn't put lunch on the line.
Yeah, I didn't put lunch. Thanks, Luke.
Thank you.
Appreciate you. Hey, coming up next, we do scenarios. Gee and Ursula.
Sean Curley Show.
They call him Reggie Smiley Wilson. How many years did you drive a Metro bus?
36 years.
You were the guy that had a smile sign. When people came on, you say smile, you do jokes.
That bus is reality. And everybody needs to know that, hey, man, my reality is no different from yours because I got to eat, I got to sleep, and I got to work. And I think we all want to do it a better way.
Watch the John Curley Show live on YouTube, weekdays 3 to 7, and download the KIRO Newsradio app.
Did you know your skin is the largest organ of your body? Huh? That's why you should shower with Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash instead of plain old bar soap. Love your skin by super hydrating it with vitamin B3 and glorious notes of vanilla and shea. Did you know that my super hydrated skin is the second largest organ of my body? The first is my heart. Old Spice. Men have skin too. Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash. 24/7 renewing moisture. With daily use.
I'm Sia and I support Humane World for Animals, formerly called the Humane Society of the United States. Together, we have created a new version of Peter Gabriel's beautiful song, Salisbury Hill, to celebrate Humane World for Animals and everything they do. Enjoy the song and join us in helping Humane World for Animals end animal cruelty.
Kia of Everett believes that when you're buying a car, it should be simple, easy, and fun. And we know you've been hearing about the 25% tariffs causing prices to go up on foreign cars. And yes, Kia is affected. Well, there's good news. We have one of the largest selections of new Kias for sale on the lot right now that have not been affected by tariffs. That means you can still get really great deals on all of these new Kia vehicles. Kia of Everett. Simple, easy, fun.
An illegal alien from Guatemala charged with raping a child in Massachusetts. An MS-13 gang member from El Salvador accused of murdering a Texas man. A Venezuelan charged with filming and selling child pornography in Michigan. These are just some of the heinous migrant criminals caught because of President Donald J. Trump's leadership. I'm Kristi Noem, the United States Secretary of Homeland Security. Under President Trump, attempted illegal border crossings are at the lowest levels ever recorded, and over 100,000 illegal aliens have been arrested. If you are here illegally, you're next. You will be fined nearly $1,000 a day, imprisoned, and deported. You will never return. But if you register using our CBP Home app and leave now, you could be allowed to return legally. Do what's right. Leave now. Under President Trump, America's laws, border, and families will be protected.
Sponsored by the United States Department of Homeland Security.
Do you need glasses or contacts and you're now at the age where you also need readers? K2 Vision RLE is the permanent solution to eliminate the need for all those. Hey, it's Doctors King and Kopstein from K2 Vision. Andy, for those nearing age 50 or so, refractive lens exchange can be a great alternative to LASIK.
That's right, Joe. K2 Vision RLE is a terrific permanent solution for a lifetime of great vision. The older we get, we experience the dysfunction of our natural lens, which affects both distance vision and requires the use of reading glasses. Plus, after K2 Vision RLE, you will never develop a cataract.
And like LASIK, K2 Vision RLE is quick and painless. The question is, which procedure is right for you?
After replacing more than 100,000 failing lenses, we have the experience to tell you if it's your right time for RLE.
Schedule your free Zoom consultation with us about K2 Vision RLE to get your eyes seeing young again, permanently.
Go to K2VisionRLE.com, K2VisionRLE.com.
At the Harnish Auto family, people matter isn't just a saying, it's how they do business. For over 40 years, their dealerships, Chevy, Buick, GMC, Volkswagen, Subaru of Puyallup, plus Chevrolet and Kia of Everett, have built a stellar reputation on trust, respect, and great deals. From supporting local charities to making sure every customer drives away happy, they're here for you. Stop by any of their dealerships or visit HarnishAutoFamily.com and find your next car today. Harnish Auto Family. People matter.
I've always been an athletic guy, but after turning 40, I noticed I was slowing down. I booked a free testosterone check with Revive Health and learned that low T doesn't just impact my performance in the bedroom. I've been following a custom treatment plan ever since, and today I'm feeling stronger and more confident than ever.
If you're ready to book your free T-check, text BOOST to 65555 or visit ReviveMensHealth.com to schedule your appointment. Message and data rates may apply. Message frequency varies. Text help for help. Text stop to cancel. See privacy policy at ReviveMensHealth.com/privacy policy. For info on how opt-in info will be used and terms and conditions at ReviveMensHealth.com/terms of use for terms of short code service.
Cars for Kids, the easy way to donate your car. Donate today and your car can be picked up tomorrow. Go to carsforkids.com or 1-877-CARS4KIDS.
Unleash your best self with a hot spring spa from Olympic Hot Tub, featuring the Freshwater IQ Salt System, healthy saltwater soaks, and a tub that tests your water. Save up to $3,800. OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
Charlie Harger here. When your hot turns to cold, you better think fast. Fast water heater. Call 1-800-THINK-FAST. That's 1-800-THINK-FAST or fastwaterheater.com.
You better think fast. Fast water heater.
It is the Gee and Ursula Show. Ursula asked that question. I'm the pappy.
You did. So many of our listeners knew.
So many. So folks on the YouTube knew it's Life with Eddie Murphy and Martin Lawrence. And it was Bernie Mac. Even Jason from West Seattle was like, oh, that was Bernie Mac. R.I.P. Bernie Mac. Scenarios.
Here we go, yo. Here we go, yo. So what's the scenario?
I've been with my fiance for 2 years. And we'll get married sometime in the next year, but no official date has been set. I brought up the topic of wedding vows, particularly the part about for sickness and in health. I said it was the most beautiful part of the marriage, that you would be so in love with someone else that you could forego your own happiness to help your partner with their physical or mental struggles. And I brought up Bruce Willis and his wife dealing with his dementia as an example. My fiance said that his wife was dumb to marry a guy that much older than her in the first place, and that it's really on Bruce. He said he'd be out of there. I was so disgusted by his comment that I'm now reconsidering this marriage. We are the same age, but you never know what age you might be hit with the health crisis. If I ever am, so that means he'll be out? Is this comment enough to realize that I need to find a better man to marry? 888-973-5476 is the text line. Ursula, you have to bat first.
It is definitely a red flag, and it is one that requires you to probe even more and walk through some scenarios. If there are other signs that he is someone who, with the slightest kind of challenge in your relationship, would be willing to walk, I would walk now. That is absolutely a red flag to me.
Good stuff. Chef?
It shocks me how little some people know each other before they get married or when they decide to get engaged. Like, you never had a whiff of any kind of attitude like this before. You didn't ask any follow-up questions like, well, honey, what if I developed ALS, at the age of 40? How would you feel about that? Like, regardless, you're going to have to take care of each other at some point. One of you is going to have to do that unless one of you, dies instantly from a heart attack or in an accident. The simple reality is that you might have to wipe your partner's bottom at some point. And it is not just love, it is commitment. Mm-hmm. It is commitment. You're not going to love every part of your marriage. You're not always going to feel super in love with your partner or in love with them at all. But what you do is you make a commitment to that person for your life, and it doesn't sound like he's on board, and it doesn't sound like you know him.
Is this a red flag? It's your red flag. Like, we all have different things that we consider to be red flags. But for you to write this and for you to ask, yes, it is. It's your red flag. Yes. It's talking to you. this bothered you. You actually said the best part of it is when, for better or for worse, here's your time. This might not be the person for you. And to which Chef made a very good point. A lot of us, we don't. We get married, we get into relationships, and then we find out all of those things. When you're faced with those situations.
Questions like, absolutely. Sorry. I didn't mean
that's all right. Go ahead.
But questions like, hey, do you want to have kids? It's amazing how many couples get married and then later on find out they're on different pages when it comes to having children.
Yeah. How about the people that have kids who don't even know how much daycare costs?
Well, how about the other part of the equation, though, is that a lot of people will say those vows, but when time comes, they really aren't there. I am so inspired by couples who I know where one of the partners has a devastating illness, and you see the other person step up. And it is incredible because it is a humongous strain. And for some people, the first sign of anything like that, they're out.
Can I ask you all something? And my man John in Birmingham just texted in and he kind of helped me with his questions. Hey, thank you, John. Because Chef mentioned about the bottom. As long as you have a bidet installed, does that count?
Very helpful.
It is very helpful.
You know what I'm saying?
It's one of your best investments you can ever make. And I'm telling you right now.
Like, thanks, John. I'm with you, bro. Like, the bidet is there.
I know that Chef's comment made you stop in your tracks for a second.
It did.
Have you seriously never thought about that?
Or if you've ever had.
I will say, Chef, the way you presented that was really good. And here's something that I didn't think about. No, being serious. Here's something I don't think it never crossed my mind. If you're a couple and you're together, unless you pass away, tragically, heart attack or something like that, one of you is going to have to take care of the other. That right there is a profound statement to make. Because it's true.
It's not enough people think about that as they decide to get married.
And most people don't understand what it means to take care of someone else. Like, I've had that experience with a disabled brother. But unless you've seen your parents take care of each other or had that experience yourself, you don't really understand what it entails.
Nick, what you got, bro?
I think the best move is to get cold feet because it really isn't supposed to be all roses in the marriage. There is going to be valleys within the peaks, and if you're already having second thoughts of a moment of dire straits with the other person's health and well-being, maybe the time isn't right for marriage, whatever their case is from the doc.
What condition, my condition?
For better or worse, if the thought of worse worries you, I think it's time to go.
Nick, can I ask you this, man? I noticed something lately. I thought I've been getting close to guessing your songs, which I never have still.
It's tough,
but,
I know.
But now I think you're doing this on purpose because your songs lately have been, there's no way.
It's just not on your iPod these days, is it?
You know what, though? Good job, Nick, because G asks me questions that he knows there's no way I'm going to answer to.
Gotta keep you on your toes.
360 text in about the bidet and says, doesn't help if you're bedridden. Okay, 360, you win. I can't. You're not wrong. You're not wrong on that one. Good stuff. What a show that it has been today. I got to say, I just saw someone text in and say it's been one of their favorite shows. I'm going to raise my hand.
Yes.
It's definitely one of mine. All right. Coming up next. Oh, let me tell y'all. During the show meeting today, I got triggered by the topics for Agree to Disagree. You got to stick around. Next, Gee and Ursula.
Someone painted April Fool in big black letters on a dead-end sign. I had my foot on the gas as I left the...
From whiplash to herniated discs, there are a few car accident injuries we've all heard of. J.P. Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains that even the most common injuries differ from one another.
Pre-existing conditions, health history, beginning of treatment. There are hundreds of factors that make every person and every injury unique. While these variables aid medical treatment, the strongest case recoveries must also take them into account.
Could you explain a little bit more?
Our team at Pendergast Law is obsessed with turning over every stone to differentiate each case. This requires thorough investigation, diligent listening, and relentless research. We never pursue cases with a one-size-fits-all approach. We built our success by treating every injury and every case with the individualized attention our clients need and deserve.
Pendergast Law's individualized approach to even the most common injuries makes the difference in case outcomes. It's another reason why I can't recommend them enough.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle.
Stop feeling embarrassed about thinning hair and start looking and feeling your best with Hair Grow by New Nordic. Available online at Amazon, Walmart.com, and NewNordicUSA.com, or at your local CVS.
Why'd I go to the doctor? One day at the firehouse, I was so lightheaded I could barely stand. Even my crew noticed. Getting checked out was the right call. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit NoTimeToWait.com, sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Hi, everyone. If you've been injured in an accident that wasn't your fault, we have legal professionals standing by to answer your questions. They'll tell you if you have a case and how much it's potentially worth. Call 800-931-3030. So if you've been injured in an accident and think you deserve compensation, call now. Find out if you have a case and how much it's potentially worth. Call 800-931-3030 to speak with a live person now.
Advertisement sponsored by Legal Help Center. May not be available in all states.
Whatever temperatures this summer brings, your friendly and knowledgeable Bryant dealer is ready to help. Your dealer is committed to achieving a high level of training, and skills are backed by outstanding products from one of the industry's most trusted names, Bryant. So whether you need a quick fix or an entirely new cooling system, your local Bryant dealer will do whatever it takes for your family's comfort.
Schedule an appointment today. For a dealer near you, visit BryantNorthwest.com. Bryant, whatever it takes.
Do you notice sounds coming from your crawl space or attic, or possibly stale or foul odors in your home? This could be that rodents have gotten into your attic and crawl and have made it their home. They tear up the insulation to make nests to have babies. They contaminate it with their biological waste, which can be harmful to your health. And they ruin your home's energy blanket, costing you thousands of dollars a year. If you even think you may have a problem, call Insulation Northwest today, and we will come to your home as soon as tomorrow and perform a free, no-obligation inspection to determine what the problem is. This inspection normally costs $199, but it's yours free just for calling today. If we discover any problem with rodents in your home, we can get them out and keep them out and restore your home's protective insulation blanket back to brand new condition. Let Insulation Northwest give peace and comfort back to you and your family and save you thousands of dollars in energy savings. Call Insulation Northwest today, the real insulation company.
InsulationNorthwest.com. KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Heather Bosch.
That issue is whether 3 lower courts had the authority to block Trump's order nationwide or just in the 22 states that have challenged the order. Solicitor General D. John Sauer argued those district judges overreached with their universal injunctions.
They operate asymmetrically, forcing the government to win everywhere while the plaintiffs can win anywhere.
Justice Elena Kagan is a former Solicitor General.
If I were in your shoes, there is no way I'd approach the Supreme Court with this case.
Michael Wallace, CBS News.
From Wisconsin, reporter Bruce Marcus has the latest legal action for a judge who was indicted earlier this week.
Judge Hannah Dugan has pleaded not guilty to obstruction charges. She's accused of helping the undocumented immigrant escape federal agents in the courthouse. Progressive groups have rallied for Dugan, but Republicans defend the charges. Wisconsin Congressman Tom Tiffany.
You have to follow the law. She is a judge.
If convicted, the judge faces 6 years in prison and a $350,000 fine. She's already been suspended by the state Supreme Court.
Walmart today blamed tariffs for price increases it plans to roll out at stores this month. Democratic lawmakers today labeled Trump tariffs and policies a baby tax. California Congressman Jimmy Gomez.
Cost of strollers, up. The cost of car seats, up. The cost of cribs, up. The cost of baby wipes, up. The cost of diapers, up. and tariffs on these essentials are a tax on working families.
Overseas, Jerusalem reporter Linda Gradstein tells us
the Gaza Health Ministry, which is affiliated with Hamas, said that the European hospital in Gaza is out of commission after one of the Israeli airstrikes, leaving cancer patients with no treatment. The Israeli airstrikes come as President Trump said the U.S. should take Gaza and make it a freedom zone. Israel has begun calling up tens of thousands of reservists for a possible renewed large operation in Gaza.
Well, CBS's Omar Villafranca is covering the Texas heat wave.
George Perez of San Antonio Metro Health told us the city has converted many libraries into cooling centers.
So for one, they can come in and get some cool water. That's one thing we really have to worry about is the dehydration.
The National Weather Service says this is one of the most severe May heat waves the region has ever seen.
Reports say singer Chris Brown was arrested today in the UK. It's about an alleged assault dating back to 2023. Wall Street, right now the Dow is up 188. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Breaking news as police try to take a suspect into custody along Lake City Way. More on that. But first, from the Beacon Plumbing Traffic Desk. Traffic slow on I-5 North from Georgetown into downtown Seattle, and we're seeing some red and yellow on the map at 405 North from 167 to the Newport Hill section in Bellevue. Travel times, Federal Way to Seattle, 34 minutes, Everett to Seattle, 40 minutes, Renton to Bellevue, 26 minutes. Traffic is brought to you by Home Comfort Alliance. Discover a new invention in home comfort with mini split systems from Home Comfort Alliance. Visit homecomfortalliance.com today.
KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Derek Wing. We've got some breaking news. Seattle police say officers, SWAT, and a hostage negotiation team are trying to take a suspect into custody. This is in the Lake City area. KIRO News Radio's James Lynch is live at the scene. James.
Derek, Seattle police say a 51-year-old man fired shots at a car just after 6 this morning, then barricaded himself in an apartment at the Polaris Apartments near the intersection of 125th and Lake City Way. We don't know what led to that shooting this morning, but police say he is a convicted murderer and has a history of illegal gun possession, robbery, and assault. Kirsten Sabin lives in the building and was notified of the situation by text.
I get a text message and it just says, Kirsten, we have an active police situation in your building. For your safety, stay in your home and lock your door.
Now, there is a huge police presence here. In the meantime, police ask everyone to avoid this area as the man is considered armed and dangerous. Live in Lake City, James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
Good information. Thank you, James. Now to Puyallup, where police say there is a heavy presence of police and fire in the area of Riverside Park Apartments. Puyallup police say that this is for an ongoing police investigation, and they add that there is no threat to the community. A serial robber strikes again. Seattle police and the FBI say the woman robbed the U.S. Bank on McGraw Street in Magnolia Monday. KIRO 7 TV's Samantha Lomibo reports the suspect is believed to have robbed at least 7 banks since last June.
Video of the suspect showing her at a Home Street bank in Madison Park on March 18th, wearing sunglasses and a beanie. Before that, police say she robbed banks in January, November, October, September, and June throughout the city. Each time, she's got a different look. But people I spoke with say those disguises won't last long.
Sooner or later, she will get caught.
The FBI says she's stolen a total of about $7,500 so far.
Seattle City Council has unanimously approved an expansion of the existing traffic safety camera program. It allows more automated cameras to be installed in areas where police say there is speeding and dangerous driving. The final vote this week was 8-0. Skagit County is preparing for wildfire season. A modified burn ban will go into effect on June 15th in unincorporated areas. The county says it's due to the current and forecasted weather conditions. This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Partly cloudy with showers this afternoon. A high of 56 degrees. Currently 52 in downtown Seattle. I'm Derek Wing.
your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO Newsradio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO Newsradio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show with G. Scott and Ursula Reutin.
Good morning, everybody. It is the Gee and Ursula Show. Happy Thursday. It is Happy Friday Eve, May 15th. Oh, good morning, Ursula. I just thought about that, man.
Good morning. I just got to tell you, and I want to remind everybody that we love you sharing your stories on our text line, 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO. And I got to tell you, I've been so inspired by some of the stories being shared about people who have taken their marriage vows very seriously, and they're sharing their stories about how they or their life partners have really stepped up when the stuff got real and someone is dealing with a very serious illness. Yeah. And I love hearing those stories, and we will share some of them at the end of our show today.
Yep. All right, let's get to it. Agree to disagree. Brought to you by Garden Roofing and Gutters.
One of these days, we just got to take off the gloves. Just really go at it.
Okay, we're going to have a little twist in this one, so just be prepared for it. I'm going to read from something that was on our own website today, and that is the 75-year-old tradition of Miss Seafair is being scrapped by the festival, replaced by a program meant to be more inclusive. Seafair Festival is calling an evolution of Miss Seafair, but opponents say it's erasing women. And they are allegedly replacing Miss Seafair with the Seafair Community Hero Program. So, Gee, what do you think about the potential of that happening?
This is going to be a first for me. I'm going to answer this question by I want to be allowed to ask Ursula a question at the same time.
Okay, go for it.
Okay, Ursula. You asked me a question about which party. I'm going to ask you, which party is more inclusive than the other?
The Democratic Party.
All right. When it comes to this topic right here, there are people here locally and around the country that just absolutely love to talk about, oh my goodness, I can't believe things are going to look this way. And oh my goodness, I can't believe they're going to be changing this up. What about having to look like this? But those same people never say things like, oh my goodness, I can't believe in the United States of America that 95% of prosecuting attorneys are white. They never say things like that. They only get upset when things change that will be more inclusive of others. There's my thing. There you go. I told y'all.
So what do you think about Miss Seafair, though? Are you going to miss the fact that it's not going to be Miss Seafair anymore?
No, I'm not.
Neither am I. And I'm going to tell you why. I think the people who are making a big to-do of this, I want to ask, when was the last time you watched a Miss Seafair pageant? You all know that I actually still enjoy pageants, even though they're much harder to find. I don't even know what channel carries it anymore. But having grown up in the Philippines, the Miss Philippines pageant, Miss Universe pageant, those were huge.
Right.
And so I grew up kind of with that whole idea. Things evolve, but the whole Miss Seafair thing, when was the last time someone watched one of those pageants? When was the last time, can you name any Miss Seafair, past or present?
No. You guys ready for the twist?
Okay,
because I got to give you the twist.
Oh, boy.
Miss Seafair went away in 2000, the year 2000. So this is from Seafair's own website, which you could find very easily by clicking on it. For the first 5 decades, Seafair royalty consisted of King Neptune and his prime minister and the Seafair Queen, which was renamed Miss Seafair in 1972. In 2000, the royalty program was updated to crown one man as King Neptune and one woman as Queen Alcyone. This year's King Neptune is Eric Johnson. This year's Queen Alcyone is Carmen Best, and there will also be a community hero nominated for their community service work alongside the King and Queen.
So,
I don't see any erasure of women here.
Okay, so hold on. So we haven't even had a Miss Seafair pageant since 2000?
I don't know about the pageant. They do like these dignitary events and blah, blah, blah.
What does this remind you of? The last time that we had the WIAA commissioner on our show, And we've had rules on the books for the last 20 years. But now all of a sudden, because of the politics and who's in office today, everything is, oh my goodness, I can't believe that there's a rule on the books about trans athletes. Reminds me of that.
Okay, and for the people who are upset, like, oh, the former Miss Seafarers, apparently there are some former Miss Seafarers who have complained. I want to point out that it doesn't take away from you being Miss Seafair.
No.
You're always going to be a Miss Seafair. You can always have that as part of your bragging rights. But yeah, I want to know when was the actual last? I didn't think
Year
it was
2000.
2000.
According to Seafarers' website.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so 25 years ago. Sorry I had to do that. I was actually doing my research before the segment. I'm like, wait a minute.
Well, how is it though that there was a Miss Seafair of 2024, Karina Halastala?
They may have had a Queen Seafair alongside. I don't know. I'm going from Seafarers' website.
I'm not going to go with that only because I don't think that's clear.
Chef, you should have let that ride. That was a good little twist at the end.
All right. Gee, Scott, have you heard of soft ghosting? Soft ghosting. So people are doing this for their mental health, and it means just kind of stepping back from communicating with perhaps people in your life that you often talk to. And the question is, do you owe your friends a text back even when you're not in the mood? So some people will just, I'm not going to text them. I'm not going to call my mom back, whatever. Is that healthy boundary setting or just plain rude?
I think it's rude. I don't know if this person might be listening right now, but yesterday I was having this discussion with someone, and it was about this very topic. And one thing that I will agree with, Ursula, is that everybody is different when it comes to these topics. But what I find is, and are the people that really that are very intentional and purposeful in everything usually that they do, usually are the ones that I think that will respond back and get back to someone. There's this new thing now where it's just, okay, like, hey, you don't have to text back. No, you don't have to text back. Nobody has to text back. I just want to just say that. But I think people that are, I don't know, like most people that are like in life that are intentional with things, they text back. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? Like, and there's this attitude. Like, I don't know if you've noticed that. It was like, well, you don't have to text back. No, you don't. But it's kind of cool if you did.
So I agree with you. It is rude if you are intentionally just ghosting somebody. I think that's absolutely rude. Now, are there times when sometimes I'll get text messages from friends during the show?
Oh, no, that's different.
Right?
That's
exactly.
different.
And so I think my friends know enough that if I don't text you back, it is because I'm in the middle of something and I will get to you as soon as I can. Sometimes I will say, oh my gosh, I forgot.
Because you opened the text at 11:15.
Exactly.
And you opened it and then you went about your day.
Exactly. And I forgot and it's hours later. But you know the intention. Yeah. You know that it's not meant to be a diss. What I don't appreciate is, and this is with emails too, I basically have the rule that I will treat others as I hope to be treated myself. Mm-hmm. And so the polite thing would be to answer within a reasonable amount of time. And if you can't, apologize for it. But don't just ghost them. Well, I mean, this whole thing for your own mental health, wouldn't a better thing be to let someone know, hey, I'm trying to lay off my phone. I'm trying to get away from texting so much. But so just know that that's what's happening.
I'm going to tell you what this young generation is doing. Something that I bet you haven't done. I haven't done, unless it's spam. Spam doesn't count, all that. Ursula, has there anybody that you blocked in your phone?
Oh, yes.
Wait, people
Really?
you blocked?
Yes.
In your phone?
Yes.
Really? You blocked somebody in your phone?
Not anyone that I know well, but if I get, because you get a lot more spam now.
I said okay. Don't count spam.
Yeah.
I'm talking about people.
I can't think of anybody that I've done that with.
Exactly. The new generation, they blocking people. So sometimes you might go to text that person that has an iPhone and it shows up green with a text message.
Yes.
And you're like, wait, I got blocked?
My sons have told me they've blocked like After a breakup, they've blocked their girlfriends.
See? Okay, Nick, talk to me now.
I don't block people, but I have met people who do block others. And I think it's a symptom of people just don't know how to resolve uncomfortable feelings that they have for other people. If you don't like someone, just tell them. I feel like you shouldn't just try and avoid it, you know.
Like, but blocking the phone number, right? What does that do?
Well, in fairness, for the one son who told me that he did this, it was because she kept texting and texting and texting after it was
sometimes
over. Sometimes you have to do it.
Mental health.
Yes.
I think the middle path is just deleting the number from your phone so you're never tempted, late at night, whatever it is. Okay.
These topics are triggering.
Let's talk a little social etiquette. I will have a fact check on myself here at the end of this segment. But gee, a social media poll is sparking a feud about what is the right way to travel. Should you unpack your suitcase and lay everything out or put it away, or live out of it? What say you?
Well, as you all know, I'm married to Lillian, and y'all know I'm living right out the suitcase. But she pulls up Ursula to the hotel, and she pulls everything out, and it's so nice and neat. And I'm going to steam this right here and put my shoes off to the side. Man, I'm just over here thugging it. You know what I'm saying? I'm over here just thugging it. Get a bag. I just get me the plastic bag. Y'all know what I'm talking about. The hotel, you get the plastic bag, and that's for your dirty drawers, and you put that, and you just keep it stepping.
See, I am more with Lillian. Unless I'm only going to be there one night, and I can just do it with pulling stuff. I don't really need anything that has to be pressed, or I'm not going anywhere fancy, and it's just casual, quick, one night. It's okay to do out of the suitcase. But if you're pulling stuff out of your suitcase, it gets all rumpled, and then there's big piles, and it's messy. It's the same thing I feel like when I don't make my bed in the morning before I go to work. I want to have everything out in the hotel, get a little bit settled, feel like things are hanging up. I'm with Lillian on this one.
Okay, so I'm going to push back.
Okay.
So you have a suitcase.
Uh-huh.
It traveled with you.
Uh-huh.
So you're going to place your suitcase down. You're going to open it up.
Yes.
Whether you pull it out now or later, it still has been moved all around, right? So when I do take it out to where I have a steamer, I'm going to steam clean it. Steam iron it or whatever so that I can make sure I can wear it.
Uh-huh.
But I don't feel like doing all the hanging up.
Oh, I love it. Like, for example, going on a cruise, first thing we do, get all the stuff out of the suitcases. Well, part of it is because you don't have much room in your cabin. So you need to kind of set your suitcases away. But then you feel like you can relax. It's like you're actually going to stay a while.
I'll admit something.
What's that?
I'm still a kid. And what I mean by that is and this is where I think maybe some can relate to this. When I get to a new city, a new destination, I'm so excited to get out that as soon as I just want to drop the bags and just go. And so I'll admit that. Because I just heard you say that when you get on a cruise, you sit there. I'd be so excited to get out. That's my problem.
Yes. If I'm going to be there, and I understand that too. If I'm going to be there, though, more than one day, the clothes are coming out.
Okay.
All right, let's move on here. Okay, I'm going to fact check myself because I think it is very important for us to do these things when we get something wrong.
Yes.
So I was partially wrong. Seafair's website says that Miss Seafair program went until the year 2000. What actually happened is they added a queen. And they took away the male prime minister. Let me lay it out for you very clearly. From 72 to 99, that's 28 years, there was a king and a prime minister and Miss Seafair. Before that, it was the queen. Okay, so there were 2 men, 1 woman. From 2000 to 2024, there was King Neptune, 1 man, and 2 women, the queen and Miss Seafair. Now, as of this year, Miss Seafair is gone, and it is going to be 1 man as a king, 1 woman as a queen, and 1 community hero, which can be of either gender. Does that clear things up?
Yes. So basically,
does that change the tenor?
Well, Miss Seafair has been going on since up until 2024. Yes. So this is new.
This is new.
This is new. It doesn't change I don't think it's going to change what G says, but I'm going to speak for myself. It doesn't change what I believe, which is when they need to evolve, because when was the last time people really paid that much attention to Miss Seafair?
Yeah.
I'm looking now, and Miss Seafair 2024 was Karina Halastala, but I had to look it up.
Yeah. Well, I mean, in just the thrust of the article that we were talking about is that this is about erasing women. And the simple fact is that since the inception of Seafair, there has always been a gender imbalance, either one more man or one more woman. And now it is actually equal in that it could be one man, one woman, and a person of whatever gender. So the thrust of that article, I think, is incorrect in that it is meant to be erasing women. Do you guys still go to the parade? Do you still watch that?
I love little parades. I love the neighborhood ones.
Ursula lives and works in Seattle. She for sure goes.
Stop. Gee, I'm going to start mentioning things that you repeat on a daily basis. You repeat that more than I do.
Lives and works. 37 years.
Hey, and it's just in my defense, the reason that it's important is because there are a lot of people who have really hot takes on how awful Seattle is, and they don't live there.
How about the ones that have hot takes about how awful Seattle is, and they actually work, live here, and walk around here? How about those?
And they're entitled, I guess. I mean, they're entitled.
Because
but
it's
you gotta be
just okay, you know what?
Yes.
Save myself.
Yes.
You want to last G, is it?
Yes.
Bet you never thought your career would come down to this.
Okay, so check this out. Earlier today, we talked about what's going on in the CID, how they're going to be having 3 ambassadors walking around from 2 to 10 p.m. Local businesses are super excited about that. So, which brings us to this question, and we're going to need your help and involvement in this. Check it out. Where you live right now, if money were no object, what community improvement project would you lead, and how would this benefit you? Now, you notice I didn't say it doesn't matter wherever you live, and don't tell me your neighborhood is perfect. So if money were no object, what community improvement project would you lead? We do it next. Gee Ursula.
This hour is brought to you by DUI Heroes. The John Curley Show.
When I was shooting at a squirrel, I was like 10 years old. I traded out. It was a high-8 film that got confused with my mom and dad's high-8 films from Singapore. And it had a woman undressing, so it was like a nudie film. I didn't even think like I was going to miss. And it went right past the squirrel. Yeah. And it hit my neighbor's a great big picture window. He got me dead to rights.
John Curley, weekdays 3 to 7 on KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM.
William is one of millions of Americans who uses GoodRx to save on the cost of their prescriptions.
My oldest daughter, Camilla, 2 days old, she had to have open heart surgery. All of a sudden, she's on 5 different medications. It adds up at the end of the month. Me and the pharmacist got so tight. She said, GoodRx save you a lot of money. Saving that extra $200-300 a month. We're able to do all these extra activities, so it puts less stress on our household, and it puts less stress on our pockets.
Download the free app or visit GoodRx.com and start saving today. GoodRx user compensated for their time. GoodRx is not insurance, but can be used instead of insurance.
I'm Sia, and I support Humane World for Animals. Together, we have created a new version of Peter Gabriel's beautiful song, Salisbury Hill, to celebrate Humane World for Animals and everything they do. Enjoy the song and join us in helping Humane World for Animals end animal cruelty.
Why'd I go to the doctor? One day at the firehouse, I was so lightheaded I could barely stand. Even my crew noticed. Getting checked out was the right call. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com, sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Comcast Business is celebrating Small Business Month by giving you a $1,000 small business bonus when you switch to a qualifying gig speed package from the company with over 99.99% network reliability. Just imagine the thousands of possibilities of a $1,000 prepaid card. Like possibility number 1, company merch for staff. Stylin'. Or possibility number 24, the latest software. Upgrade. Or possibility number 192, new equipment powered by gig speeds. Or possibility number 555, a 3D printer. Rapid prototyping, anyone? Switch to Comcast Business for over 99.99% network reliability, advanced cybersecurity, and now get started with a $1,000 small business bonus. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
In 6/22/25, new customers only with 2-year agreement. Other restrictions apply.
Need a new roof now? With State Roofing and Exteriors, you can get started with 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for up to 24 months. That's right. Protect your home now and pay later. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com today.
Hi, I'm Keith Dashafee, owner of Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington. We're celebrating 100 years of Pella excellence with an offer as strong as our legacy. Get $100 off every window, $100 off every door, and enjoy 100 days with no interest and no payments. It's our way of saying thank you for letting us be a part of your homes for a century. Visit PellaPNW.com to schedule your free consultation today. Pella, 100 years strong.
Are you putting off your new kitchen plans? Why wait? Hi, Chad Cicchini, owner of Heritage Homecraft. Call today for a free in-home estimate. Years of experience, thousands of happy customers. Heritage Homecraft, 425-485-1600 or heritagehomecraft.com.
I've always been a super athletic guy, but after I turned 40, I noticed I was slowing down. Instead of hitting the gym after work, I spent my evenings on the couch with a bag of chips. I was gaining weight, losing muscle, and when I did try to work out, I ran out of energy right away. One of my buddies suggested I book a free testosterone check at Revive Health, and that's when I learned that low T doesn't just impact how guys perform in the bedroom. I worked with a provider to create my custom treatment plan, and today I'm feeling stronger than ever. Last week, I even set a new PR at the gym. My only regret is not reaching out sooner.
If you're ready to book your free T-check, visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com or call 206-529-1111. Again, that's 206-529-1111.
I always say, know where your food comes from. And for the best tasting food, choose locally fresh. Hartley here from Wilcox Family Farms. When you choose food from local family farmers like Wilcox, you support the local economy with jobs and promote environmental sustainability. Wilcox is committed to organic, humane practices that keep our hens healthy and help preserve the land. So, our family can keep on producing great eggs for another 100 years. Wilcox Family Farms, locally fresh since 1909.
This week at Demetrio's Jazz Alley, come experience Robert Glasper's original piano trio. Celebrate 20 years of Canvas with 8 unforgettable shows. Shows run May 15th through 18th. Tickets at jazzalley.com.
KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Derek Wing. Breaking news, we are getting new information on that standoff in Lake City that started with a shooting this morning. Police now tell us there are 3 girls inside that apartment with the gunman. Let's go live to KIRO News Radio's James Lynch with the very latest. James?
SPD says at this time those girls are not considered hostages and they don't know the relationship between them and the gunman. We do know he is a 51-year-old man and opened fire on a car this morning just after 6 o'clock, then went inside the Polaris Apartments at 125th and Lake City Way and barricaded himself inside a unit. SWAT and hostage negotiators are on site and in communication with the suspect. They consider him armed and dangerous. Here's SPD Detective Eric Munoz.
The suspect is believed to have a previous felony conviction for murder in the second degree. We have probable cause to arrest him for unlawful possession of a firearm, unlawful discharge of a firearm, and he does have a Thurston County no bail felony warrant.
Again, police say they are in contact with the man right now. Hostage negotiators are. They are trying to negotiate his peaceful surrender. So far, they say they are having varying degrees of success. Live in Lake City, James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
Thank you, James. 2 officer-involved shootings are under investigation right now in Kitsap County. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey has more, including audio from newly released body cam footage from a shooting in Paulsbo.
Hey, he's exiting.
Put your hands up now!
Hey, he's got a knife. Back up. Hey, watch out. I'm going to pepper ball.
Moments after Paulsbo officers fired pepper balls at 41-year-old Justin Mogling, then tasered him twice back on May 7th, body cam video shows the suspect appearing to lunge at officers while holding a knife. Investigators say Mogling died from gunshot wounds. In Bremerton, late Wednesday night, a Kitsap spokesperson says 5 deputies and 2 state troopers confronted a prowling suspect in a Fred Meyer's parking lot off Highway 303. That suspect is in stable condition. No word yet whether deputies or troopers fired those shots. Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
Rite Aid is planning to close some local stores after filing for bankruptcy. The pharmacy chain says that many of its locations will either close or change ownership in the coming months. That includes local chain Bartell Drugs, which the Rite Aid company owns. According to a May 9th filing, Rite Aid stores will close in Kingston, Yelm, Granite Falls, Omak, Snoqualmie, and Anacortes. As for Bartell's, stores will close in North Bend and Ephrata. On Wall Street, the Dow is up 176 points right now, S&P 500 up 25 points, and the NASDAQ up 31 points. From the Beacon Plumbing Traffic Desk, here's the traffic report. Traffic on 405 northbound heavy from 167 to just past the VMAC and slow going in downtown Seattle from the south end of Lake Union to Denny Way. Travel times, Federal Way to Seattle, 33 minutes. Everett to Seattle, 40 minutes. Renton to Bellevue, 27 minutes. Traffic is brought to you by Kia of Everett. Kia of Everett is the simple, easy, fun way to buy or lease your new Kia. Visit KiaofEverett.com or stop by to learn more about the Putt for Saving events going on right now. This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Partly cloudy with showers this afternoon, a high of 56. It's currently 54 in downtown Seattle. I'm Derek Wing.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show on what has been a fantastic Thursday morning show. If you've missed any part of our show today, make sure that you listen to our podcast, and I would highly recommend that you listen to the interview we did at 10:06 with the former bank robber who is a regular Gee and Ursula Show listener, and that was a fascinating story. But right now, we want to talk. Gee, you had the question on your mind this morning. If money were no object, you were asking, what would you do to improve your community today? And I'd love to hear what came to mind.
Yeah, so one of the reasons why I asked this question is because I was thinking about myself. And I said, self, this is what I would fix. And a lot of you all have been texting, but here's what I would fix. Sidewalks in my neighborhood. In unincorporated Pierce County, it is not mandatory to have sidewalks on the streets. So there are a lot of people that you kind of walk off to the side. As a matter of fact, if you want to go back to, remember there was a car accident and someone was speeding and it actually hit pedestrians when they were going down the street in unincorporated Pierce County. Well, that's one of the reasons why is because we don't have sidewalks. Sometimes you have to walk on the street. So for me, it would be, I would lead the charge for sidewalks in unincorporated Pierce County.
So for me, I really have 2 answers. But the first one that I have is that I would want more parks. I would want more parks with a lot more greenery, more trees, because in the city of Seattle, as you've been hearing, we are losing trees in many areas. So I would want to have clean parks with more trees and clean, staffed bathrooms.
Ooh.
You said money were no objects because we don't have enough public bathrooms. So I would say that to make sure that they stay clean, that you have them staffed.
Yeah.
The other thing I would say is we have a desperate need for more affordable housing. And when I say affordable housing, I mean housing that can really get low income and people who are currently homeless off the streets, out of their cars, and in safe places that don't cost $1 million per unit.
Can I change mine?
Why?
What?
Yeah, because I want to change it because it said if you could lead the charge on something and money was no object, I know what it would be. And it has to do with you talking about affordable housing. Because whenever I hear affordable housing, I got to tell you, I can't stand the term.
I know.
It's a buzzword.
It's got to be truly affordable.
Here's my thing. I would significantly want minimum wage raise very high. That's what I would lead the charge on. But that's I can't do that. I got to stay in the neighborhood, so I'm staying with sidewalks. Go ahead, Chef.
I want to talk about kids and seniors, actually. So first with kids, they need to move their bodies. Like our kids are on their screens. They are not moving. It rains here in the Pacific Northwest all the time. It is not welcoming to go outside for 6 months of the year. And I looked this up. There are only 3 covered playgrounds within a 50-mile radius of Seattle. There's Crossroads Park in Bellevue, Les Gove Park in Auburn, and Star Center in Tacoma. I would have covered playgrounds everywhere in every single city because the only places that you can go inside that are free, basically, with your child are the library, which is not open on the weekends at certain hours or on certain days, or the mall. Right, those are the only 2 free places you can really go indoors, and that's not acceptable. The other thing, this is kids, seniors, and families. Actually, we have a lot of isolated seniors in our community. Mm-hmm. We have a lot of families that cannot afford childcare. We have, at the same time, a lot of kids who have no connection to older generations. And I would love to open up low-cost daycare centers within retirement homes so that kids have a chance to interact with an older generation. The older generation, like, every time I would bring Alice or Matthew into my grandma's long-term care facility, the entire place would light up. I would love to create that.
I love that. 206 texted in and said, I live in unincorporated Pierce County down in Graham. I would invest a lot more money into the Graham Town Center off of 224th and Meridian and put a sheriff's substation there to help eliminate a lot of the crime in the area. It is so sketchy there that people actually open carry. Then there is Trevor in Federal Way who says, I would convert all of those stormwater drainage properties that you see, many of them apparently in Federal Way that are unused. And he says, I would turn them into small neighborhood dog parks. These open areas all over neighborhoods and near intersections are drugged and full of grass 99% of the year, and they are fenced in and completely unused or drugged.
Al in Seattle, I think you win, Al. Says if money was no object, every child in our community would be fed, housed, and educated. Then they grow up and they can figure out how to fix this mess because clearly we adults have no clue.
Winner.
Yo.
I agree.
It was your affordable housing right there.
Oh my God. That's a good one.
And just to add on top of what Al in Seattle just said, if I can just one thing, just fed. Every kid, there's community centers all over. Oh, that's another thing. There needs to be more community centers in unincorporated Pierce County, right? Because a lot of times, the reason why I'm saying this and I'm bringing unincorporated Pierce County up is because, a lot of dollars, things happen in Tacoma, in Seattle. But these other areas where there is a big gaping hole, a lot of these kids are missing out. They don't have the opportunity to go to community centers. And by the way, if you're listening right now and you grew up and you had an opportunity to go to a community center, it changed my father's life.
Yes.
It's the reason why he went to the Marines.
Gee, that's a great point. Even in Seattle, some of the community centers where you can take kids, it's only like a couple hours a day for kids under 5. You can access the gym, for example. In Edmonds, the Francis Anderson Center, they were thinking of closing it because we don't really know what to do with the space. Well, you can access the gym for a couple hours if you want to play pickleball. But, I mean, how many schools have a gym that could be used on the weekends opened up for kids? how many empty buildings do we have that are owned by municipal governments that we could staff, like a Boys and Girls Club?
So true.
Hey, by the way, this was amazing answers. Like people texting in, thank you all for doing this.
For sure. Barb from Burien just have consequences for graffiti and vandalism. Hey, speaking my language too.
oh, that's what I was going to ask you. I was going to ask you, like, why didn't you bring up graffiti at all?
Because in the grand scheme of things, there are things that are more important.
Yeah. Look at Ursula. You know what? Ursula's growing. She's growing up on the show.
Excuse me?
That was a joke. That was a joke.
Not really.
Good stuff. It was fun.
Okay,
Text
still
messages,
ahead, yes.
feedback, and then we'll have Ursula's words to live by. Gee and Ursula.
Winners of 3 2025 Regional Edward R. Murrow Awards, including Overall Excellence, Feature Reporting, and Sports Reporting.
Sneakers squeak across the Storm's new practice facility. In Seattle, Heather Bosch, KIRO News Radio.
We thank you. We are the Northwest leading news station because of you.
Inspiring us every day to deliver the local news and stories you care about.
On KIRO News Radio, YouTube, the app, and 97.3 FM.
Greetings, Boomtown. Ever since this neighborhood switched to Xfinity Internet,
the Wi-Fi is booming!
Xfinity combines the power of internet and mobile with one all-in plan.
So we've all got lightning-fast, secure Wi-Fi speeds at home and on the go with Wi-Fi Power Boost from Xfinity Mobile.
You get the most reliable Wi-Fi with our best in-class equipment and unlimited data included. Plus, add an unlimited mobile line.
All for only $40 a month for 1 year. To celebrate this combo, we're mashing our shows together.
It's everything you need all in one plan. Plus, learn how to get a free 5G phone with a premium unlimited line. Now, sit back and relax with the smooth, relaxing sound
of face-melting acid metal!
Brilliant.
Visit Xfinity.com to learn more. Ends June 23rd with paperless billing and autopay to stored bank account. Restrictions apply. Xfinity Internet gateway required. Texas fees extra. After 1 year rate increases to $110 a month. After 2 years regular rates apply. Actual Wi-Fi speeds vary. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed broadband experience report August 2024.
Why'd I go to the doctor? One day at the firehouse, I was so lightheaded I could barely stand. Even my crew noticed. Getting checked out was the right call. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
G. Scott here with some special guests, former Seahawks Doug Baldwin and Cliff Averill. Guys, I've been hearing all about Nourishing Champions. Tell us more about it.
So we know the benefits for young people in sports, but we often don't think about the barriers to that access. And one of those barriers is having proper nutrition. And so Nourishing Champions, in partnership with Champions of Change and Safeway, is an effort to address those barriers so that our student athletes have what they need to excel both on the field and in the classroom.
You know, it's extremely important. You don't realize how many students actually are on reduced or even free lunch, and they don't have the opportunity to actually get a meal before practice, before a game. So being able to provide food for them, I think, is extremely important to give them the best opportunity to be able to be the best version of themselves.
And right now, high schools can apply for grants up to $25,000 from Nourishing Champions. Learn how at championsofchangefoundation.org. That's championsofchangefoundation.org.
Hey, it's Shannon O'Kelly, President and CEO of IRG Physical and Hand Therapy, inviting you to come to work for IRG with just over 40 locations in the beautiful Pacific Northwest. Northwest, you have the opportunity to work in the city and place you want with a great team, a great atmosphere, and great mentorship.
Shannon, what type of staff are you looking to hire? Is it just clinical staff right now?
We are looking to hire not only physical therapists, but also occupational therapists, exercise techs, athletic trainers, front office coordinators. We have a whole platform of different services we provide to the community.
Over 40 clinics in the Pacific Northwest. There are openings across the whole company. Head over to irgpt.com/careers and apply today. But Shannon, will they have any fun coming to work at IRG?
Oh my gosh, Brock, that's what it's all about. We want to have fun. We're all about passion. We're all about positivity. We want people to change lives. That's what we're doing here at IRG. We're changing lives, not only of our employees, our patients, and our communities. We want you to be your best self.
So head over to irgpt.com/careers, irgpt.com/careers, and apply today.
Why choose Care Partners Senior Living over in-home care? Amanda here. Care Partners communities are safer than your home, provide more socialization, and may be more affordable than in-home care. Find a Care Partners community in Washington or Arizona at carepartnersliving.com.
People matter isn't just a saying at Harnish Auto Family. It's how they do business. For over 40 years, they've built a stellar reputation on trust, respect, and great deals. Visit harnishautofamily.com to find your next car. Harnish Auto Family. People matter.
Nearly half the homes in Western Washington are not properly insulated or not insulated at all. Sound like your home? Then call for your free inspection.
InsulationNorthwest.com.
Hey, it's John Curley with Dr. Kopstein from K2 Vision RLE. Doc, I heard that 50% of Americans have their lenses replaced by the time they're 75.
That's exactly right, John. As we near 50, our eye's natural lens starts to become dysfunctional. If you've now added readers to your need for glasses and contacts, it's a sign the quality and function of your natural lens is fading, and it's a steady decline towards cataracts.
Don't go another 20-plus years with poor vision, hassling with contacts and readers. Do what I did. Choose a quick, painless refractive lens exchange from K2 Vision RLE and start enjoying great vision now.
Our new lens technology is truly amazing. After replacing over 100,000 lenses, we have the experience to guide each patient to their best solution, even if that's recommending you wait a little while before RLE.
K2 Vision RLE can restore distance and near vision permanently, plus never develop a cataract. Read the reviews and schedule a free Zoom consultation now at k2visionrle.com.
It is Gee Ursula Show. Some of you all listen to the show quite often, and we thank you for that. So here's my question. Can you guess one thing that I still haven't done during the show today? If you know that answer, text in 888-973-5476. What is the one thing that I should do? And sometimes I tell you that I didn't do. So I'm going to go ahead and pull it up now.
Okay. I love these little quizzes. Okay, so on your text messages, a lot of you had a lot to say about our guest in the 10 o'clock hour, a former bank robber. Anonymous in Auburn texted in and said, that was a great interview with the bank robber. I committed an armed robbery when I was 18, and I spent the next 10 years in and out of prison. I was a criminal and an alcoholic, and the things I missed between the ages of 18 and 28 still affect me today. I am 57 now, and I had to work very hard to change the way I think. Today, I believe in doing the right thing no matter what, and I haven't had a drink in 14 years. I have 2 degrees, one in engineering and one in design drafting, but I've been denied both shelter and employment because of the felonies on my record. The person behind the counter during the robbery died by suicide a year later. His family told me it had nothing to do with the robbery, but I can't help but wonder. Anyway, I could really relate to what that bank robber said about the victims.
Wow. Anonymous text in, my uncle, one of my father's brothers, was shot by police and killed during a bank robbery. He was 19. They thought he had a weapon. He did not. My father's side is very secretive, just quiet in general. So I never got all the answers answered. I never met this uncle since he died before I was born, but my brother was named after him. Never knew what to think of that. It's quite tragic, the whole scenario, but he should have never joined his friends to rob a bank or try in the first place. I got to tell you, Ursula, I'd argue one of my favorite parts of my job is really getting to know some of our listeners. We have some listeners Phenomenal. That I just, some of you have been texting this entire time and never knew really about you. And then you share it and you're like, whoa.
Our 10 o'clock guest was one of those.
Right.
one of our regular texters. I'm like, what?
What?
And during the break, we had to go Google it and say, are you telling the truth?
And he was telling
the truth.
Oh, he's telling the truth.
Yes, for
Yeah,
sure.
y'all know Ursula would not let that come across the airwaves if it wasn't vetted.
Yes. Okay. On scenarios,
Yeah.
my fiance is shaky about the whole in sickness and in health part of the vows. Colleen in Centralia says, check the stats. Almost 25% of men will leave a sick wife. Only about 10% of women will leave their sick husbands.
You agree?
Yes.
206 says, I'm my wife's caregiver. We've been married for over 30 years, and she got sick a few years ago. I work full-time, but I also take care of her, and it's exhausting. But it's also what I committed to when we got married, and I'm never going to break that commitment.
Ron says, my wife and I were married for 36 years. During the last 2 years of her life, I was completely dedicated to her through the hospital stays, the leg amputation, and being told that she wouldn't survive the year. I stood by her. I carried her wheelchair down the stairs, took her on car rides when she was cold and needed to feel warm, anything to bring her comfort. When you love someone and take your vows seriously, you do everything in your power to make their life livable. And I'm getting emotional because, Ron, you are incredible and an inspiration.
Yes, you are, Ron. Glenn in SeaTech, who another listener since day one. As you know, my wife passed away going on 4 years ago. We both took our vows very seriously. It was a long 3 years of her being basically bedridden. It was a struggle for me, of course, juggling work, cooking, doctor's visits, etc. But I will say, we were never closer together in the previous 6 years of marriage. Thanks again for reaching out to me when she passed. Like I told you at Boom Boona Coffee Shop, G, I'll always remember that. Love the show. Peace.
This is from Jacques in Kent. My wife has been battling cancer. She was diagnosed shortly after we married. The stress, the frustration is clear and present. I love my wife unconditionally, and I would never leave her. And here's a sweeping statement from me, according to him. A real man will weather the storm.
Okay, Ursula, it is now time for your good old words to live by. And Eric in Columbia City says, G has not opened up News Boss.
Oh my gosh. Eric. I'm sorry. Eric knows that and even knows that it's called News Boss. Tells you.
Tracy in Burien says, turn on the news app on this computer. Wait a minute. Time out. Oh, no, Ursula, go ahead. We got to go.
Okay, yeah. Okay, this is inspired by this last segment that we had talking about what you would do in sickness and health. Real love isn't just a euphoric, spontaneous feeling. It is a deliberate choice, a plan to love each other for better and worse, for richer and poorer, in sickness and in health. And again, those of you who shared your stories, you inspire me.
Thank you, Brooklyn Ursula. Brother Nick.
Rick knows you too well. But oh, sure, we've had a day with Seahawks schedules revealed, finding out sooner than later where the team will take the field. But it's rare around these parts to have a moment of our time giving details of some robberies and lists of all your crimes. So thank you to the ones that go by Mike for stopping by. And if listening, don't get any ideas to steal supply. We won't block you or any extremes, but it is frowned upon, okay?
The bank robbers that either texted in or were on the show all said, don't do it.
Yeah. Annette K wants to know, what's tomorrow? What day is it tomorrow? I need a sound. I need a cut.
Fridays. And today was going down as one of my favorite shows ever.
All right, we got to go. It's Fresh Fridays tomorrow.
Fresh Fridays.
Ursula, thank you. Chef,
thank you.
Thank you. By the way, make sure you guys check out Chef's hat. Chef got a winter hat. Literally the best hat he's ever worn. And everybody's texting in right now. Hey,
y'all know what a backhanded compliment is when you hear one, right?
Whoa. No, that hat's legit.
All right.
Oh, okay. Nick, thank you.
You too, man.
The Jake and Spike comes in next. Stick around. We'll be here tomorrow for Fresh Fridays. Appreciate you for listening. Love you for that. And as always, be kind.
Hope you had as much fun as we have. So long, everybody.
Fresh Fridays.
start having fun. Caesar Sportsbook at Muckleshoot Casino Resort is your #1 place to eat, drink, watch, and have fun. Keep up with your favorite sports anywhere and everywhere on property with the mobile app. Visit muckleshootcasino.com today. Scan the QR code and let the play begin.
Muckleshoot. If you've got a gas-powered engine, keep it running like new at every fill-up. Stable in-season protection is your engine's preventative medicine, cleaning and protecting the entire fuel system in season. In outdoor power equipment, prevent gum and varnish buildup that could cause a rough or non-running engine. For cars and trucks, increase fuel efficiency and power by removing deposits, ensuring your engine's long-term health. Stable outperforms the competition in independent lab testing. So at every fill-up, start with Stable.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Did you hear? A recent stash of $10 gold Liberty coins from the 1800s has been found. These gorgeous gold coins are as bright and shiny as the day they were struck.